Stuart McFadden, thank you for joining the 13th Tier 3. Hello everyone, and thank you for being here. Is the sound okay? Everything looks okay up my end. No cat in the donut. Cat has decided to lie on bed, mainly on her side of the bed, right up next to the pillows, like a little thing. And so there'll be fur when she goes to bed tonight. It's all good, are we? Hello, Heretic Dave. Hello, Harvey Mayer. Sam Nash. Welcome, Kruger. Alex, Neil, Joe Stiller. Thanks to the kind person who gifted me a membership. Most appreciated. That's probably Sam Nash. Because he gifted like 50 last time. How are we all? Are we okay? Evening, Liam Stanley. Hi, Rue. Hello. Rue is one of the legends from the deployment zone community. That at one of the live events, me and Warsmith Chris turned his Space Marines to Chaos. Well, we didn't. We managed to draw him over to the dark side. It was glorious. I put that as one of my peak gaming moments. Hello all. Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor is there. Yeah, it's Mr. Consistent. I'm back again on a not Monday. Streaming consistently. I thought I'd come back to say hello. The main thing is to say hello and thank you and answer any questions that you might have and also talk Warhammer 40k. Hopefully this one won't be 3 hours long. Hopefully a little bit more entertainment. Is that a real word? But hello everyone, and thank you to the groundswell of the support I've received in the last 48 hours. I'm Callum. Welcome to the 13th. At Tier 3, 2 new members already. The amount of support I've received in the last 48 hours is humbling. It's humbling. Oh, one thing I need to drop in at the start, because I'm aware that there's a few people who would... How to keep your hobby space so clean and tidy, says Dawn's Apothecary. It's not clean and tidy from my angle. One of the things I need to say at the very start is... Because I did last night upload some of the Hobbypocalypse. Because Dave Stanley is Evening Primaris Dave here. Painting Hobbypocalypse while listening. One of the things that I plan to do, so everyone who watches this from the community gets to understand what the hell happened there, is I started uploading the Hobbypocalypse seasons on YouTube members. Because Hobbypocalypse is a season that ran in the deployment zone and now is going to run in YouTube channel members. It's ran by Brapscallion and Monkey and Stylus and Sultan, the 4 horsemen of the Hobbypocalypse. Talking about that Wolf Boot Chronicles is in his house, and that is Stylus, one of the fabled 4 horsemen. Probably the one who would... he's probably death when it comes to the first 4 horsemen, because there's bodies somewhere in his back catalogue, probably buried under the patio somewhere. But he'd never get caught because he's like a genius. He's like the evil mastermind genius. Anyway, I started uploading the Hobbypocalypse, and then I got loads of YouTube content creator copyright warnings because Brap uses some of the music from Epidemic Sounds, and you have to credit them properly. And I haven't got Epidemic Sound license, the ability to use them on YouTube. So I asked my wife to sort it out. And so she did. And it turns out that I'd subscribed to Epidemic Sounds ages ago, probably 8 years ago or something like that. And when you subscribe, she couldn't find a way to subscribe to Epidemic Sounds without that first month free trial thing, probably because of something that I did in the background 8 years ago. So got to do the free trial thing. And then while that is active, until I'm actually paying for it, I don't have the permission to publish stuff with their copyrighted music. So there's going to be no Hobbypocalypse on the members bit for at least a month. Until then I get the thing. And she's tried to find a way around it. And if she can't find a way around it, then I'm never going to find a way around it. Technology is not a friend of mine. So it's going to be a while till you see the Hobby back catalogue. Until then, season 3 of the Hobbypocalypse will come out at the end of the month. So that's what happened there. The Flash, some people saw some. And then I was playing Call of Duty last night with the boys. with Brap, with Monkey, with Sultan, and I kept getting all the messages. At first I kept ignoring them and deleting them, and then when they became even more persistent, like on the like, oh no, I should actually read this one, and it said, you need to do something because you don't own these, well, you don't own permission to publish with these sounds. So that's what happened. So that's the thing. Epidemic Sounds, Hobbypocalypse, that they're coming. That's what I want to say. They're coming. So hello. Who else is Nosferatu, JT, Dicky, who I'm seeing on the 12th for a battle report. Mr. Binschauf, Wrath of Constantine, and Philip Lawrence. Wrath of Constantine is one of those legends. No, he's not one of the legends. He is the legend. He is an American from Americaland, from the colonies, from all the way over there. You know, where they have better teeth and lots of guns and no healthcare. And he decided to fly all the way over here last year for Weekend at Bernie's and this year for Weekend at Bernie's. And on both occasions managed to play a game with me. And the game with him and me will be up on YouTube at some point, either for members or for free. Tomorrow, the free one is White Scars versus Tyranids between me and Sultan Plays, because that one's ready to go. That one's up in the thing, ready to go. So you see White Scars versus Tyranids tomorrow. Sorry about that. And for everyone who else was asking, what about, say hi, Paul? The number of creators in the community who also got in contact with me, Say Hi Paul's one of them, has been just overwhelming, and thank you to everyone who did. And yeah, I've got a game booked in with Say Hi Paul in the summer. I think I might have put him down on the wrong date, but anyway, that's happening. Nosferatu is curious what everybody thinks about boarding actions. Boarding actions is awesome. I think I've played it, and I thought it was excellent. And I haven't spoken to someone who's had a bad experience with boarding actions. I think it's a perfect skirmish level game, a perfect way to enter Warhammer 40k. And I hope it's in the main rulebook when 10th edition is launched. Lots of guns and no healthcare. This is sadly the most accurate description of American ever. Yeah, well, you can't get everything. Like over here, we've got healthcare. It's free, but it's really, really overburdened. And we have no guns. And I'd love to have loads of guns. I like guns. Shooting loads of guns is fun. I'd like a bolter, a las cannon. No, that'd probably be a bolt gun. No, 1 minute. Yeah, mass reactive explosive bolt gun rounds would be epic. Give it to me. What's your visceral reaction to the Marines Desolation Squad, and why should they be Gravis Marines? Brap, you're wrong. I'm sorry. It's Brap in the chat. What do I think my visceral reaction to the Marines Desolation Squad? They're the Nerf gun people, right? They look like Nerf guns. That's my reaction to it. Spud gun. Is it Spud guns? Las gun. The backbone to any soldier. Yeah, las gun. Cracking away. Cracking away. That's the sound that las gun makes. It's like a whip crack. Crack, 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 crack. Like the end of the whip crack. At least that's how Dan Abnett describes it in Gaunt's Ghosts. And that's because there's no bang when the bullet fires, because there's no explosive in the things, but the crack, 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 crack is the laser charge or the laser bolt beating the sound barrier. Crack, 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 crack. So you can imagine, he also describes it sometimes like loads of sticks breaking when there's a big gunfight with las guns, chaos on thing. It's like, yeah, that sort of thing. So if you ever wanted to know what the sound of a las gun is like, then that's the sound of a las gun like that. So I thought I'd come back. Hello. Thank you to the 100 people who are here to talk 40k, to answer questions, things like that. It's been an emotional 48 hours. Particularly as in the middle of all this, I didn't stop. Like I did play with Sultan that evening. We didn't end up filming that one. I took a picture, put it on my Instagram. So we didn't film the one on that evening, and that evening. And then, looking at my thing, then the day after that, I filmed a super secret one with Jerome and Mikey P. And then today, this guy turned up, and we didn't film that one either. Because today was a game of Horus Heresy, and I'm trying to get as many people that I know who have got Horus Heresy armies playing Horus Heresy, because Horus Heresy is awesome and I really, really like it. And 10th edition is coming around. It's everyone who wants to play 40k right now is playing 40k right now, and everyone who's waiting to play 40k are waiting a couple of months, aren't they? So in the meantime, we have Heresy. Hats off to you going solo. Thank you. Even Winters, hope you're doing well. 2 Color Maximum. I am doing well. I'm doing better. Yeah, I'm doing better, and hopefully better and better and better and better as the time goes on, as I have less burden, less to worry about, less dragging me down, and less surprises happening in and around me all the time. So hopefully it's easier from this point, easier for me and easier for you two as well, because if you want to support me, you know how to support me. Click that join membership button. If you want extra videos, that's the way to do it. It's all on YouTube, so it's just easier for you now. Fear not, Dork Gently is here. Dork Gently. Dirk Gently. Have you read the books? Dork Gently. Have you actually read the books? They're awesome. Where is the button to become a member? Asks CS. The band is broken up, says Dork Gently. Yeah, okay. So on YouTube somewhere on the page, if you're on iPhone, iPad, or anything with an I in it, then you're probably not going to be able to see it because Apple. I understand it's a problem with Apple to actually show a button that says join, but on all other devices, at the top of any YouTube page which has members, there should be a button which says join, and you can click on there. And tier 1 is just a way to support me and get your custom loyalty badges. Tier 2 is a way of joining my Discord, and there's a lot of people in the Discord all of a sudden, and hello to all of you. And then tier 3 unlocks the extra content as well. And if you want to become a mega member, just throw more money at me, you can. And that gets you a special room in the Discord. Or you can throw money at me at Patreon. And Dirk Gently has joined the 13th at tier 1. Hi, Sullivan Gilbert. Did you just call me Honey? Good evening, Honey. Big hugs as always. Hi, a big hug to you too, Honey Bun. Hello, Team America. Sans, Stuff and Stuff. Yes, you have, Dirk Gently. You've read it. Okay, good. So that's the way to do those things. So hello, chat. I'm here for you this evening. Let's try and entertain each other. Let's see how long we can keep this party going for. Good evening, Winters. Says Just Craig. Glad to hear you're doing a bit better. Was just sitting to paint some Sons of Horus and starting the first wall book. But as you're on, that's even better. Is the first wall, is that one, the Beast Arises one, I believe? I think it's the first wall. I think it's the Beast Arises. A troubled series, no doubt. The first book in The Beast Arises is absolutely fantastic. And I think book 3 as well, the big space battle against the... Anyway, there's a couple in there that are absolutely fantastic. Everyone set for Mother's Day, asked Sullivan Gilbert. That's a good question. Is everyone set for Mother's Day? Has everyone got a mother to be set for Mother's Day for? Do people get set for Mother's Day? I think people will get set for Christmas Day, but Mother's Day? Oh, it was also pointing out to me, talking about getting set for a day, that my event, March of Winters, that I'm going to be doing with marchofwar.co.uk on the 1st of October, details in the Discord, is the same day as the LGT. So that was the big event that I was trying to rack my brain. So you can go to the LGT, 500 player event, or you can come and see me. So there's, maybe it's not the best weekend to stick it in, but I'm not going to the LGT. The first wall is book 3. Right, okay. That's actually a good one, I think. Drapkin was going to look at a movie, but Winters always goes first. That's what my wife says. Is that a good thing? You should probably watch a movie. John Wick 4, is that out yet? Let's get him some rave reviews, isn't it? Other movies to watch. Recent movies that were good. Chat. Recent movies that were good and are worth watching. Blade Runner 2049, I highly rate. I've watched, it's better the second time round. And the third, I really... What other good movies have I watched recently? Chat, throw me a frickin' bone. Do I think 10th edition will be a big reset? Maybe more like AOS. I do think 10th edition will be a big reset. I do think they're going to be hamstrung a little bit by all the codexes they find themselves locked in. Truffle Shuffle has joined the 13th at tier 3. Thank you. Sullivan Gilbert watched Shazam today. Thought it was fun. Picard, season 3, might as well be a movie. It's great. I keep hearing a lot of things about Picard season 3. Haven't watched season 1 and 2. I will watch season 3 once it's all out. Stuff and Stuff hasn't watched a new film in years, and Diggy thought Avatar 2 was pretty fun. Watch The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Yes, Drapkin. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent with damn it, him playing himself is a great movie. That was good fun. I definitely do recommend that one. Other movies. Heard a lot of good things about Picard. Happy day after the St. Patrick's Day. Was it St. Patrick's Day? Oh yeah, they dyed the rivers green in the war zone. Cinnamon Coda is outside pretending to fix the wall outside his king's room, so don't have to tell the wife how we definitely need to redo the entire exterior. New season of You is out in the UK. He's in the UK. New season of You. John Wick is out on the 24th. Nick Cage, that's it. Nick Cage, and I heard that Puss in Boots 2 was awesome as well. And Roy Sly and Drapkin have both joined the 13th. Thank you. Tier 2, that's the Discord one, so you've got access to all the Discord. And tier 3, you've got access to all the Discord and the all the extra videos and things. Looking forward to the Dungeons and Dragons movie. The 2022 Batman was very good. Oh yeah, the Batman was a good movie. The Batman, Dune, we've had a couple of really standout movies in the last couple of years, I think, which is good. You'll notice when you get to the Discord that it's being added to quite substantially. So well done, Brap, for looking after all the Discord stuff. But in my Discord, at the bottom, one of the things that was added in the past 24 hours, which I think is awesome, is looking for games. So if you haven't scrolled down that far, or if you're wondering what else you can get in there, then we've broken it down to all different bits in the UK, because most of my audience is from the UK, but there's also a rest of the world section, which would be lovely to open up wider. But people in there writing like, I'm here, is anyone here who wants to have a game with me? And it's something that was in the old Deployment Zone Discord. And I do know from talking to a chunk of different people that there's many people that only fought each other, that started playing by fighting other people in the Discord and only played each other in the Discord because they didn't have anyone else to play with beforehand, because they're new to the hobby or in the middle of their sticks somewhere. So I really love the fact that that bit has been added to the bottom of the Discord, and I can see that a couple of people in there have already managed to arrange some fights with each other in the Midlands or the Southeast or the Northeast or wherever. And hopefully, as it continues to grow, we'll be able to open up that rest of the world section in the Discord to America, which is a really tiny place. So if someone says, hey, I'm in America, and another person says, I'm in America, then they'll only be about 20 minutes apart and they'll be able to see each other. Or like Australia. There was someone in the Australia looking for a game in the rest of the world. And Australia is a really tiny place as well, right? So if someone says, g'day, mate, and another person over there goes, Barbie, mate, and then they can walk upside down to each other. Do they hang on to the underside of the planet, or are they literally walking up to, I don't know, Australians? I'm not sure it exists. The internet tells me Australia isn't real. Where are we? Okay, got to pick up the not yet. Where are we? Dork Gently's got to go. Okay. But nobody lives in the southwest all the way down here. There are quite a few people who live in the southwest. Exeter's got a big gaming thing, and Bristol has actually got a good gaming community, and there's quite a active bunch of lads in the Discord who play at Bristol Independent Gaming. Shout out to them. Disco Dolly's here. Hi. They walk on their hands, I think. Yeah. My orcs would smash your Space Marines. No, my sweet summer child. No, they wouldn't. Okay, just Southwest Showdown 3? ? That would be nice. Southwest Showdown 3. We had the Wild West Showdown 1 and 2. I don't think we've had I think we've had a Southwest Showdown 1, and I think it isn't. I think it was the Wild West Showdown. No, it was just the Wild West 1 and 2. And it was the Southwest. Anyway, yes, number 3. I think it was run by Fropome and Hofspring. So, and I think they're in the Discord now. So maybe they will be running another one. Australians have Velcro feet, like geckos, which allows them to stick to the underside of the earth. That makes sense. That's why they don't fall off all over the place. Yeah. Velcro feet. It's evolution. It's an adaptation. A bit like the fact that the evolution in Australia is everything's poisonous and everything will eat you all the time. You know, hey, doctor, I just got bitten by a poisonous spider. And then the doctor talks to you in an Australian accent because you're in Australia, because you just got bitten by a poisonous spider. Everything there wants to kill you all the time. Rapid. Monkey senses a disturbance in the force at the word of showdown. Yes, Rapid. Get Monkey to do another one. Can Australians walk on glass too, then? I don't know. Are there any Australians in the chat? And can you walk on glass? And do you indeed have Velcro on your feet? Will you be sober enough to answer this? They're Australian. Everyone, get in Winter's Discord. Oh, thank you. It's electric. Everything that makes this hobby community great. Oh, thank you. It is going well, actually, isn't it? Like the Discord, since I cleared all the things, and there's just messages popping up all the time. All the time. Yeah, it's popping off still. It's been really busy in the last 48 hours, which, why are you messaging me in the middle of a live stream? Cool. I'm live streaming. Warsmith Chris. Talking about Warsmith Chris, there'll be another SDC, STD, what is it called? Anyway, there's another one of them we're recording on Wednesday. Rory Sly upgraded the membership to a tier 3. Thank you. That'll unlock all the extra videos for you and get you in my Discord and stuff. Here in Brazil, someone's in Brazil. Hello, Brazil. Don't get very many Brazilians in here. That was a really good Brazilian. Was definitely a hairstyle of choice back at the end of the 90s, but since then everyone has gone with a Kojak. Here in Brazil, we have a very small community. I wish you had more people, but it's hard for people to get into the game and buy products here. Yeah, like Australia, because I'm sure everything is really overpriced in Brazil. Dr. No, I thought Australians would be immune to venom at this point. It's just a matter of time, isn't it? Until another STD. Yes, that's on Wednesday. We're going to have another STD. Just Craig, is it likely in the future that you allow us to play in your mind at a narrative event, much like we did a year ago? I did do 2 narrative events. The first one, about 30, which I advertised just to mainly to Deployment Zone people. The first one, only about 30 people we got. The second one was 45, 50 people. And yeah, people were definitely playing in my mind, like in the way I set up some of my funny, weird deployments or win or games that you might see on the channel, like the big one, like 4,000 points of Necrons versus 4,000 points of something else. We just set up something. And we did that in the narrative, allow people to play in my mind. I haven't lined up a narrative event this year, because 10th edition, but there is a 1-day event on the 1st of October called March of Winters, and there will be shenanigans in that, obviously, because I like shenanigans, things happening in the middle of a fight. So yes, welcome to the 13th, Tier 3. Thank you. Marius Gage, you didn't hear much about the Torchbearer fleet. Have you created any lore about it? Torchbearer fleet, you'll have to remind me what that is, because it sounds like no. Hello Kings, Mootle Dootle, Hoop Dog. That's a bit like Snoop Dogg, but with a H. I like it. Where are we? So people chatting to each other in the chat, which is good. Building a golf boarding action team with lots of meganobs. That sounds awesome. Rip Chaplain Snow. Yeah, Rip Chaplain Snow. I'm glad people enjoyed the narrative that me with Thingy Bob put together for Ambush. He was a legend. We've done his entire arc, Snow's entire arc. On YouTube together. Like, we saw the first battles he was in. We saw him become a legend and take on Abaddon. I remember that fight with Chewie, hand to hand, beating him. Took down got overwhelmed by these Khorne berserkers and just didn't die. Managed to hack his way through them until Abaddon got into combat and beat him down as well. He's had some truly epic moments along the journey, along the last 9 years. I think Snow's been around for like 7 years. But we move forward, don't we? We find out what's over the next hill, what the next new exciting adventure is. Mootle Doodle, I wasn't saying love the Word Bearer's Ambush. It was good, man. It was good. I like the way that the narrative tied directly into the 2 battle reports without spoiling the battle reports, and how the battle reports said which way the narrative was going. There's a better way of saying that. I was thinking of other more intelligent words. Enlightened, informed, the way the battle reports informed the narrative. Also, there was a bit, yes, but I like the interaction there. Grant, Gunther, and Demogorgon, thank you for joining the 13th at tier 3. Hey, Jerome, it's been a while. It hasn't been a while, Jerome. You were here yesterday. And guess who was here today? This guy. And guess who played Horus Heresy today with his iron hands? This guy. And guess who really enjoyed Horus Heresy? This guy. And he said he was going to go and chat to you about it and hopefully get a game up either around your house or around his house or something. But yeah, he really enjoyed it. Heresy is a good game system. Evening, Asbo. Hello, Monkey. You need more Gitsnicks and Imperiacs to colour maximum. We do need more Gitsnicks and Imperiacs. We do. And I haven't got any games planned in with them at some point. Jerome, he's been messaging me non-stop. Nice. Iron Hands are fantastic. Just finished reading Fulgrim. Good. You're mashing your way through the Horus Heresy, are you? Fulgrim is one of the tougher books to get your head round. I really enjoyed it the second time round. After Fulgrim, you got Mechanicum, though. Another slow burner at the start. I think it's Mechanicum. But it is an epic book. Maris Gage, thank you for being a member for 3 months. The Torchbearer fleets were sent out being the Primaris Marines to all the chapters, were they? Okay. Thank you for the reminder. I haven't fleshed out any narrative around them at all. I'm looking forward to the narrative of Cypher. You know Cypher, the guy with a big sword on his back, waking up the lion, giving him the sword. Here is the lion's sword, and waking up the new Primark. Well, the old Primark, but waking up the lion, the first Primark, and bringing him back to the 40k fold. They've got to tie in Cypher somehow to the resurrection of the lion, haven't they? They've got to. Junkie Inc. Clothing presents, thank you for joining the 13th at tier 2. That unlocks the Discord. Loads of chats to the Discord. If you want additional videos as well, then become a tier 3 channel member for £1 more. Slow start, good ending, Fulgrim. Yes, exactly. Cheers from Sweden. Guy Nemo. I have to zip down now because Ferrus reminds me of Horus Heresy, less charismatic and more stoic, self-aware. Ferrus reminds me of Horus pre-Heresy, less charismatic and stoic, self-aware. Yeah, one of the interesting things about Ferrus Manus in the Horus Heresy, in the short time that he's in the Horus Heresy, is his council of Iron Fathers was a dissenting chamber. It's a war chamber where they're set up to do X, Y, Z, and but it was also called, one of its names was the dissenting chamber. It's a place where you were supposed to dissent. It was a place where you were supposed to argue against Ferrus and against other Iron Fathers, and argue for the sake of arguing, because only in fire is metal tempered. Iron endures. So even when this action was going to happen, no matter what, they would argue against it in the dissenting chamber to see if they could break it in any way. That's just a genius idea. And I can't think of any other Primarchs. I mean, Korax was pretty good when it came to people telling him, hey, you're an idiot. And he was like, if one of his closest followers, I'm in the middle of Deliverance Lost on the Audible right now, because I've read Heresy a few times, but we're doing the Audible. And one of the standout features I found, one of the refreshing features I found out for Korax, who is the Primarch of the Raven Guard, is people would disagree with him just as they would disagree as much with Angron or Horus or the other Primarchs that we've been introduced to so far. But when people turn around to Korax and say, are you sure, sir? He'll stop and think. If anyone disagrees with him, he doesn't rage and throw his toys out the pram. if one of his closest allies or someone close to him is bold enough to stand up and say, are you sure that this is the right course of action? He immediately thinks about what they says and takes that dissenting voice seriously. And there lies a problem, or a distinction perhaps, between the traitor Primarchs and the good guy Primarchs. The good guy Primarchs liked different voices coming at them. I mean, how many people out there are going to actually stand up to Kurz or Angron, or even Horus for that matter, and call him a twat? Not very many. A true leader, yes. You're reigniting my interest in 40 again. Introduced my son to it around the end of 8th edition and into 9th. Really helped during Nurgle's pandemic. Death Guard are my jam, baby. Love the battle reports and narratives. Thank you, Junkie Ink Clothing Presents. Pardon me. Corax is definitely one of my favorite Primarchs, says Drapkin. Which is, he's not normally up there with one of the ones that people would say are their favorites. So that's good. I'm sure he is, and it's good. Yeah, like no one had the Khan pegged as one of their, the Great Khan, as one of their favorite Primarchs until the Heresy. And then during the Heresy, you find out that the Khan is an absolute dude. The man is a legend. And suddenly he's catapulted up. He's so charismatic, so full of fire, so full of energy, so full of wind, so full of motion. He moves like a storm. And being swept along in his trail must have been exhilarating. The new Dante model pose is rather similar to the Corax model, in my humble opinion. Sam C. Roberts. It is, isn't it? He's the guy standing on a rock again, doing the thing again. The new Dante model looks good. 7 out of 10. Mid. Is it mid? It's not low key. It's pretty mid. It's good, but where's the wings? Where's the... At least he hasn't got the emo haircut like that Raven Guard guy. But are you excited for the new Dante? Says Grant Gunther. No, I don't. He looks nice. I'm not going to collect Blood Angels at any point because Sultan's got about 12,000 points of painted Blood Angels and he lives around the corner. But I'm definitely excited to go up against him and see what he does. Mr. Potato Butt, member for 2 months. Back to 40k Winters. My wallet hates you. Apologies to your wallet. Tier 1 member for 2 months. So thank you so much. If you'd like to support me, see how I'm doing this professionally or trying to, Tier 1 unlocks the emojis and the badges and things. Tier 2 unlocks my Discord. And Tier 3 unlocks all the extra videos going forward as well. There's a couple of campaigns in there already. There's 20 plus, I think, members, battle reports, and all the stuff and things. And you can become a mega member if you've got lots of money as well, which is an extra way to throw money at me, or become patron and keep this band, party, thing, whatever we're doing, rolling. Is 1,000 Suns worth reading? John Shookton, the audiobook and the narrator is very annoying. Should I read it or just skip? It's not. See, this is the good thing, because there's Jonathan Keeble and who's the other one. They don't just read the audiobooks. They read them so well, it sounds like there's a couple of people telling you a story around a campfire. And those two nail it. Who's the other one apart from Jonathan Keeble? Chat, let us know. The 1,000 Suns has got the guy, and it does sound like he's reading a book rather than telling you a story. I would highly recommend reading 1,000 Suns rather than audiobooking it. And 1,000 Suns is a really slow burn. It takes a long time to get into. It starts off with 1,000 Suns. It's about a third of the way it gets going. But this is why I highly recommend 1,000 Suns. If you're doing the Horus Heresy, it's the first time you go to Ullanor. We go to Ullanor. And you get to see just Ullanor, okay? You go to Ullanor and you meet a bunch of other Primarchs at Ullanor as well. You go to Nicaea, the Council of Nicaea. You go there. And the desolation of Tisca from the 1,000 Suns point of view is definitely worth reading. And finally, Ahriman is a G. He comes across just as good, just as relatable, just as likable as Khan, as Loken, as Garrow. Graham McNeil has made sure that Ahriman got the full 40k treatment, and he comes across as an absolute legend. It's worth it. Yeah, Jerome is there. Thousand Suns, yeah, it's worth it. Jerome is following my reading order. If you go back through the back catalogue on YouTube, you'll see that I put up a, hey, here's the way to do the Horus Heresy really quickly video. And really quickly, it's got about, I recommend about 12 books, or I want to say 12, it might be 10 before you have to hit the Solar War. And it's a way to do it quite quickly. And Jerome came to me midway through, or towards the start of Thousand Suns, going, this is heavy. This isn't perhaps, are you sure? I said, stick with me. Stick with me. It's such, the other thing about Thousand Suns is because you go to Ullanor, because you go to Nike, because it adds so much. You need to know about the Webway project. You need to know about, these are things that you need to know in order to have a rounded appreciation of the heresy. So Thousand Suns, hard one to start, but a lot of Graham McNeil ones are hard to start. They're slow burners, but they go deeper than many other authors. Oh, not so much, but Graham McNeil likes to use, he likes dwelling on certain things in certain places. He's a fan. You can tell Graham McNeil is such a fan. He wanted to go to Ullanor. He wanted to go to Nike. He enjoys taking you on these journeys with him. So Thousand Suns, 10 out of 10 would bang. Drapkin is on book 35 in the Horus Heresy, would say that all of the books are worth a read. Listen, no, not all of them are, Drapkin. Battle for the Abyss and the Fury of Demos. What is that one with the planet that you fight me? Those two are horrible. Stay away from them. Is it Fury of Demos? The Damnation of Pythos. That's the one. I'm on No Fear. It's Raining Baneblades. Yeah, Mootle Doodle. Yeah, that's just a paragraph. It's just a section in No Fear. No Fear is one of the best books in the series, along with Betrayer, along with the first three. There's a couple of books that really stand out. And No Fear is one of them. So, pardon me. Hey, Mr. Winters, at work, at break, I wanted to say hi. I'm at work till 3. Any words to inspire me through the night? Huzzah 2110. Any words to inspire you through the night? I don't know. The night is dark and full of shadows. Head down. Soldier on. Fight the good fight. Be a good person. As E.T. said, be excellent. No, be good. As Bill and Ted said, be excellent to each other. Look forward. Look up. Keep going. And try and be a better person than you were yesterday. I think that's about, where are we? It's also like 50 books. Like where I started with Sons of Medusa, and then I thought I need to start with something more vanilla support. So okay, yeah, it's definitely up there. Caffeine, says Dickie. Caffeine. Monkey, get back to work and stop watching the TV. That's some inspiring words around there. And Jerome says, No Fear is his fave so far. No Fear is your fave so far? Jerome, would you put No Fear above one of the first three? Or the first three, that's a really strong introduction to the Horus Heresy. They guys knocked it out. But you put it up there above them? Because No Fear is Dan Abnett on fire, I think. I teared up twice with the End in the Death volumes 1 so far. Yeah, man, Nick, I teared up a couple of times in the End of the Death. It is volume 1 has stuck the landing. That's Dan Abnett on fire. Brutal Cunning is a great book with orcs. Writing orcs is ticket, and that book nailed it. Yeah, I keep hearing about Brutal Cunning. I'll put it on my list. It's up there. I need to get to Brutal Cunning. Jerome, yeah, I think I'll put it first of the ones you've read so far. Yeah, No Fear is, yeah. Drapkin, the first 3 books are in a league of their own. They are. First Heretic is my favourite heresy book. Andy Hornack. Monkey is a good space wolf, I think, in my top 5. Does it make you laugh? Right, okay. So let's talk about the First Heretic. I've heard from many people that the First Heretic is their favourite book in the Horus Heresy series. And this is ADB's introduction to Black Library. And it is word bearers and how the heresy actually started 100 years before or 90 years before the heresy. It's how the word bearers got to find their new gods and slip the first touches of chaos, how they get to slip away. Now, there's a couple of books in the heresy which unfortunately are not very good that you should stay away from. The most notable one being The Fury of Demos, I think it's called. Damnation of Pythos, that's the one. That was originally planned to be a 40k model, the Damnation of Pythos. And the Horus Heresy was doing really well. And because the Horus Heresy series was doing really well, the Black Library, the powers that be, are like, can you modify this book and stick it in 30k? Because we need a win. We have a big gap here. We need to do more heresy. Who knew it would be so successful? So it was modified and stuck into 30k. So it's definitely a side quest that doesn't have any further interaction with anything else that happens in the narrative. And ultimately the story is the story is okay. But because it doesn't have any real, even some of the smaller side quests in the heresy do have some ramification and some bits. It does feed back in the end, but the Damnation of Pythos doesn't. So, but the First Heretic, in my opinion, I don't like that book. I think here's a couple of reasons why. 2 reasons why. The first reason why I don't like that book is because Lorgar's religious arguments, the first, his reason for believing, his reason for not believing, the debates, the religious philosophy in there isn't as deep as I would have liked it to be. You can just go on YouTube and watch some stuff from Richard Dawkins and other people like that to get probably some more powerful, deeper debates around the nature of religion. And I wanted a bit more teeth from my Primark, particularly the Primark who talked about religion. I wanted a bit, there could have been some work put into that, I feel. And that kind of pushed me out of the book a little bit because, well, it's a Primark. So, and then the other side of things, I really hate Lorgar. I think it's great that I hate a character that much. It shows how much I'm engaged with that character, like Joffrey from Game of Thrones or something. It's great that is there, that bite is there. But it's a hard book to go through with a Primark who you hate and religious philosophy of religion discussions, which isn't as deep as you'd want that to go either. So I think, personally for me, the First Heretic sucks. And I love ADB, and I love everything he's done apart from that book. And I would recommend everything ADB's done apart from that book. But it is his first punt into the Black Library. I don't think he was in the Black Library before that book. And I think ADB, like Chris Raitt as well, by the way, those two just seem to be improving and improving and improving. Like Chris Raitt's book in the Heresy series, the one with the Khan in it, was outstanding. I cried my ass off on that, and I did put a post up on the community section when I finished it, like, OMG. And she was like, why are you crying? And I'm like, I couldn't explain to her why I was crying at the end of it, but it was just, yeah, Chris Raitt is going to be up there. I mean, back in the day, we'd talk about Dan Abnett, and now we talk about Dan Abnett and ADB, and I think in the future we're going to be talking about Dan Abnett, Chris Raitt, and ADB. And then there's the solid other Black Library writers and other people. Some people really like Graham McNeil. Some people don't think Graham McNeil is very good. The other ones it depends on your personal opinion, but almost everyone likes a good Dan Abnett book. Almost everyone likes a good ADB book. Anyway, so does that make sense? Pickle Nick hated the damnation of Pythos. Yeah. It's I think in the reading order series that I said there's a couple of ones that you should skip, and one of them is the damnation of Pythos. The other one is Slaves to Darkness. That happens much later on in the Heresy. I think you should skip that one as well. And Battle for the Abyss with the Furious at that one, I would skip if you were ever doing the Heresy. Basically, when I went back over it, I've only ever read those books once. And I've read the Heresy a number of times over. But I'm never going back there. Don't make me back there. Actually, no, I do remember reading The Damnation of Pythos again. The second time I ran through the Heresy. Because what would happen is, when we got about 3/4 of the way, halfway through the Heresy, and I think it was, well, then like Betrayer came out, and I'd done And They Know No Fear, and we were waiting for ages for Betrayer to come out, and I knew when Betrayer was coming out. I went back and then read all the Heresy, so I was fresh. Boom, Betrayer. And then I think I did Unremembered Empire and a couple of other. And then it went a bit further forward to the Pharos thing, so then I read them all through. But I do remember hitting Damnation of Pythos twice. But I've never done Slaves of Darkness twice, or Furious Abyss twice. They suck. Your average 40k painter, thank you for joining the 13th at tier 3. I appreciate you so much. Enjoy all the extra videos and things like that. Guy Haley is good. Yeah, exactly. Guy Haley is good. Graham McNeil is good. There's a bunch of guys who are good. But there's obviously a massive skill in writing. And some writers are able to capture more people than other writers. And writing is hard, really hard. So hats off to all of them that do it. Nosh Faratu just started ADB's Night Lords this morning. You're going to have a great time. That ship, man. The Night Lords. You start the book and you're right. All right, what's all this about? And the Night Lords battle barge, it's black on the inside. The lights are off. Night Lords walking around in pitch blackness all the time, and they're Astartes and they can see fine. And all the crew working in the ship are working in pitch blackness all the time. It's just a little thing like that. It was like, oh, that's cool. And then down in the underdecks, they use either IR goggles or little torches to see around. And down in the underdecks, just hope that the Night Lords don't come down to flay one of them every now and then, which happens. Or if they're working on the bridge or in places where they need to be, then the only light there is the illumination of the consoles around them. Other than that, the Night Lords ships are always in pitch black, which is just cool. They are the Lords of the Night. A lot of stub toesies on that ship. Yes, so many stub toesies on that ship. And it is an excellent series. Recommend Night Lord series from ADB, 10 out of 10, would bang. You'll probably want to end up collecting Night Lords afterwards, so be very careful with your wallet. One of the best parts of the Heresy was during the Outcast Dead. Fantastic book, Graham McNeil, again. This is the thing about Graham McNeil, like I put him up there with ADB and Dan Abnett. When he hits, but occasionally Graham McNeil, when he hits. Like Mechanicum, for someone who loves AdMech, Mechanicum is the Bible of the AdMech for me. Thousand Sons is outstanding. Outcast Dead is outstanding. One of the bits that when the World Eater had a conversation with a child and was incredibly awkward. One of the best parts of the Outcast Dead was when the World Eater had a conversation with a child and was incredibly awkward. Yeah. And they go, are you a space marine? And he's like, yeah. A World Eater interacting with a 6-year-old was one of the best bits in The End and the Death, Volume 1, the very end of the Siege of Terror. And I'm not spoiling this for anyone, but there's a bit in there where Sanguinius gives Dawn a hug. Tears. Just gives him a hug. Fantastic. So Ragu the third, welcome to the 13th tier 3. You are awesome. You see, yeah, no, please, no. I'm not spoiling it. It's just, it doesn't spoil it. There's a bit where, yeah, it's like those little moments in the Horus Heresy or other books here or there, which you can talk about, like a world eater trying to interact with a 6-year-old, Sanguinius giving Dawn a hug. Little bits, those little bits, or the bit in No Fear where it's only a sentence and it's in the middle of Kauth, and this is happening, and this is happening, and this is happening. Then it starts raining super heavy tanks, and then this is happening, this is happening. You're like, what? 1 minute, go back. What happened? You read that paragraph again. 1 minute. So a container ship blew up overhead in low orbit, and inside the hull there is 500 Baneblades, because the World Eaters and the Ultramarines were getting together at Kauth under orders of Horus to go on this massive attack of the Orcs on the eastern front. That was the cover of the thing. And the container ship, and there's the guard there, and there's the the massive muster, and it splits, and so it's just little sentences like that that's sprinkled in a book here or there, which make the Horus Heresy and the other books pop for me. Games Workshop show idea, buddy cop theme, Gazgul and Yarrick. That would be cool. Gazgul and Yarrick. That's the theme tune. Wah! That would be excellent. I'm rereading the Siege of Terror series before I read The End and the Death. That's probably one of the ways. Yes. Hats off to you. Thoughts on John Grammaticus and his arc? I think it's sort of meh. I love the intro to John in Legion. Nick, I agree. I love the introduction to John in Legion. I don't want to talk too much about John Grammaticus and his arc, because I think it's going to have... It's Dan Abnett. It's his character. And Dan Abnett's writing The End and the Death. So... And he's stuck the landing so far. So his arc, I like. I like the fact that there's humans. I like the fact that there's perpetuals. It's before Legion and before this idea of perpetuals. You've got to remember that when it came out, before it came out, Legion, people were talking about the Emperor and debating. There was a debate online and there was a debate in the community for a long time that the Emperor was this or that, or a star child or a thing or a old one. There was even a theory that he was one of the old ones that gave birth to the race of the Eldar and the Krork and the Harad and the Jokero. He was one of them. We didn't really know who the Emperor was, what he was. When Legion came out and introduced the idea of perpetuals, that's where it all, that makes sense. But it wasn't confirmed for a long time that the Emperor was a perpetual, an immortal human. It wasn't confirmed until about 10 or... I do remember it was a podcast or an interview or something on Warhammer Plus, or it wasn't on Warhammer Plus, but it was a question that Bella Lost Souls did an article about it, and I think Kirioth mentioned it and did a whole thing on it. Someone did a thing on it when Games Workshop finally confirmed that the Emperor was a perpetual human and a psyker of an order of magnitude beyond any other psykers. So we got to remember that John Grammaticus, his arc, that introduction, everything is leading somewhere. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where it leads. I like the fact that, I don't want to spoil it, but he's forgetting those words as he says it. Otherwise, if he keeps them stuck in his head, because that wraps into the words and into Eisenhorn, right? Eisenhorn and Ravener and Beckwin and Pariah, it wraps into, and that's another Dan Abnett book. You can see these strands coming together. Remember, the Horus Heresy isn't the start of the war with Chaos. The Emperor has been fighting his war with Chaos for 30,000 years, and he's still fighting, and it isn't over yet. Junkie and Clothing presents, thank you for upgrading to Tier 3. S. Chen has upgraded to a Mega Member. You're a Mega Member. Thank you for throwing extra money at me. I love you. I love you all. Craig Lawson Smith has joined the 13th at Tier 1, which allows me to thank you. That allows me to run. So, thank you for becoming a Tier 1 channel member. Anyone else out there who wants to support me, Tier 1 unlocks all the custom loyalty badges, and there's a way of supporting me. Thank you. If you want to access the Discord as well, then that's Tier 2. And if you have enough time to get extra videos as well in your daily busy life, then become a Tier 3 channel member. And mega members are for people who are either crazy or own castles. So S-Chen probably owns a couple of castles. Stuff and Stuff says the Emperor should remain a mystery. The Emperor is pretty much a mystery, wrapped in a sock, wrapped in a mystery, but at least we know that he's a human now and why he has lived for so long. If Dan Abnett hadn't introduced the notion of perpetuals and answered that question, then we would have known who he was. Dan Abnett, in an interview when he went to the High Lords of Terror, he said that in Legion he had an idea for 3 pictures for the book, for Legion, and he was prepared to lose 2 of them, so he walks away with 1 of them, and pictures that he really wanted to do for that book. And he went in there and said, right, this is what I pitch, and he was able to keep all 3. And one of them was the notion of perpetuals, which helps nicely wrap up. Because humans are a bit weird in the 40k universe. We've got perpetuals, we've got pariahs, we've got psychers, and then we've got mutants like astropaths and navigators and oh my, lions and tigers and bears, oh my, lions and tigers and bears. Name that movie. Reckon we'll ever get Tzeentch demon engines? Yes, we're going to get the Soul Forges and we're going to get Bad Mech. We're going to get Dark Mechanicum in 10th edition Warhammer. It's coming. That's why Vashtor has been released. And so as part of the Soul Forges, as part of Bad Mech, you'll be able to put Mark of Khorne, Mark of Tzeentch, you should get some Tzeentchy ones in there. Just like you can put a Tzeentchy head on the new Demon Prince. Or we'll get demon engines, and you'll be able to Tzeentch them up. And there'll be rules, there should be rules for Tzeentch and Khorne and Nurgle and things like that. Where are we? I've read about 11 Horus Heresy books, both print and audio, and I had to dip out and recalibrate in reality. It was getting dark in there. Yeah, it is grim dark. Yeah, I've heard that from a couple of people as well, that the Black Library or the Horus Heresy isn't for them. It can get much, much darker as well. There are some Horus Heresy books that, Mechanicum's pretty dark. There are some Horus Heresy books and 40k books which can be disturbing, and that's the point. The Flight of the Eisenstein, S-Chen, was one of the most 40k stories in the Horus Heresy. It was one of the most 40k stories in the Horus Heresy. It was a great book. Are you going to add the new Terminator models to the 13th when they come out? Yes, of course. Predator 2, huh? Thoughts on the short story, The Sigillite? The short story, The Sigillite, is the one with the stone. What's it called? In the British Museum? Bugger. Anyway, that's the one with the stone in the British Museum, and the guy wants to kick it out of the back of the Valkyrie, but the Sigillite takes him down and shows him one of the last doors of the Eternity Gate. That one was epic, with the boom, boom, but that was absolutely epic. Yes, the Sigillite's not... There's 2 fantastic books with the Sigillite in, and one short story. One is the Sigillite, and the other one is not the Master of my First Lord of the Imperium, which is a must read or must listen. I think it's only available on audio, First Lord of the Imperium, but you have to check that one out. The Rosetta Stone, that's it. Yes, yeah, the Sigillite short story. It's one of the best short stories in the Heresy. It says so much. It says so much. Yeah. Are we going to see Sultan make his debut to Heresy on the channel with his salamanders? I hope so. I've managed to get in a couple of... So I think I played him twice in Heresy, trying to teach him Heresy, and his salamanders force is up to about 2,500 now. And he said he loved both of the games. And I haven't got a game booked in with Sultan for next week. His parents come around tomorrow, around his house, so he can't play tomorrow. Monday, Alex says SEO. Tuesday, I need to get all the stuff done. Warsmith Chris at STD on Wednesday. Simply Warhammer Andy on the Thursday. Then a day off. Then Command Battle. Yeah, probably not next week. But yeah, part of the reason for me teaching and playing Heresy with Sultan, and indeed today with this guy, with everyone I know who's willing to come with me and play a Heresy army, is to get as many people I know around me playing Heresy, because I love Heresy, because it's not going to change in the next couple of months, whereas we're going to go from 9th to 10th edition. So let's just play some Heresy. Oh dear, so I hope so is the answer. Have you read the Chris Rate trilogy? The Vaults of Terror one, it's so good. Yes, I have. Did he do it? Did it actually become a trilogy by the end? I think it did. But yeah, they're outstanding. I mean, Chris Rate is getting better. Grey Knight, Rosetta Stone. I didn't realize it was you in here. Hi, Grey Knight SEO. How you doing? Having said that, Fulgrim was one of my favourites. Yeah, that's a hard one. One of the things I really like about the audiobooks is that they mispronounce some words as Shakespeare and other things, just as if some words got twisted and warped through the years. Yeah, yeah. Or maybe in the future, Shakespeare is Shakespeare. Night Lord AI, sorry boss. You're trying to sort out how to join your channel. I don't know what I'm doing. Technology, huh? It sucks. If you're on iPad, iThing, iApple, anything, then there is a force field between you and the rest of the internet, because that's how Apple functions, and you will not be able to see the join button on your device. You need to go on a proper bit of computer tech without the force field between you and the internet, without the machine mind, the machine spirit telling you stuff and things, and then when you go onto anyone's YouTube page, you'll see a join button at the top. Another thing you can do is I was going to say something funny there, and then it popped out of my head. Another thing you can do is something about force fields and AI. Bugger, it's gone. Everyone should play Heresy, says Andy Horniak. Yeah, I agree. Command Battle Win is in his house. Psst, we're super excited. Command Battle Win there's 2 of you coming, right? Or all 3 of you are coming? I think all 3 of you are... Check out Command Battle Win YouTube channel. I think all 3 of them are coming, and we're going to do a 4-way 1,500 point fight. Now, for you obviously know the answer to this, but if you've been here and you just saw me read through the shit, it goes. Yeah, all 3. Brilliant. Good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Next Saturday, we'll throw some dice and stuff. Obviously, you do know, because I don't talk about it very much. I don't think I've mentioned it at all on the channel, but I did win this trophy once. There is an order, there's a skill gap between me and most players of Warhammer 40k. There's those that try, and then there's me. So you do know that when you come here, you are going to be going up against the 2021 No Retreat Legends of Legends champion. So just as long as you know that, because I don't think I've mentioned it before. So you got to pull up your big boy pants when you come, okay? You put on your big boy pants. How do you join the Discord? Andy Hoyak. If you become a tier 2 or above channel member, YouTube will send you a thing, and then you click on the thing, and then you join the Discord that way. So it's tier 2. Tier 1 is a way to support me. Tier 2 joins the Discord. Tier 3 also unlocks the extra videos as well. So tier 2 and above, and then YouTube will send you an email, and then you'll have a join button, and then you come in the Discord. And then in the Discord, there'll be a verify your account thing. There's a bot, and you click on that thing, and then you wait, because it refreshes. I think it's once every half hour. And then once it's refreshed, then boom, you're in. And Shakatron, thank you for the first donation of the evening. I appreciate you. Fantastic content, Winters. Best bat reps out there. Wishing you all the best, mate. Thank you. I wish you the best too. Using Apple sign in to Google, YouTube, and join that way. That's how I did it. Okay, so there's a way if you've got the Apple force field to get through, is it? Command Bat Win. Yeah, we're going to cry. Yeah, Command Bat. Yes, you're going to cry for sure. If you're not crying by the end of it, I'm doing something wrong. I press that $sign, keep on receiving an error message on my phone. See, this is why technology sucks. Drapkin giving someone else a walkthrough. It's good. I like the fact that you guys are in there helping each other out. Discord link when you look at perks after signing up, says Truffleshot. See, I don't know how it works because I haven't done it. So the Discord link when you look at perks after signing up. Okay. If you close down the live chat, there should be a join button next to the bell button. The bell end? If you close down the live chat. Right. Who wins in a 1v1 fight? Calbor Hal or Zagreus Kane? Well, Kelbor Hal was the Fabricator General of Mars, so he's pretty much the Emperor of Mankind power. He would nuke Kane. He would nuke Kane. He would win easily. Taylor Allison, woot woot. Finally here before the end of the stream. Have you been able to come by Jetbike Scorpius for 30k winters? Me? Have I? Do you mean these? And that? No, I haven't. Definitely not been able to come by them. Have you tried praying to the Omnissiah? Exactly. You need to pray to the Omnissiah to make this technology work. Hi Siri, can you tell me what time it is? And then Siri tells the tech priest what time it is. And that's how they pray to machines. Evening all, John Battle, Isaac Champ, Mordian57. Hi Mordian5. Why does it say I've been a member for 7 months when I only joined yesterday? Not that I'm complaining. I have no idea. That sounds like a YouTube thing. No idea. I just found it. Hooray! Andy Hornack found it. Cheers. Okay. Why aren't there jet bikes in 40? I know, right? Here's the thing that they could do. So it looks like in 10th edition we're getting new Space Marine Codex. Well, we're going to get a new Space Marine Codex in every edition, right? And it looks like they're doing something different with the sub-factions, because we had Blood Angels, Space Wolves, Dark Angels, Death Watch, and the other one, Black Templars. They all got their own individual codexes. A bit like... where are you? Where are you? And I'm so sorry, I cannot sleep. Like this one, they got their own codex, but we didn't get one for Ultramarines, White Scars, Imperial Fists, Salamanders, or the other one. And it looks like in 10th edition, what they're going to do is hopefully, because they didn't release, it's the first time they haven't done the sub-faction. Mind you, they only did the sub-faction thing in 8th twice. So hopefully in 10th edition, when we get the sub-factions book, they're all in a book together. So it's all nice and simple somewhere. Why can't they repackage this so you get this for Horus Heresy, but also get this for Warhammer 40k and make jet bikes exclusively available to, say, the Raven Wing and the White Scars, and they would just make bank, yo. So all the rest of all the other 40k forces have got bikers and outriders and ATVs and their Imperial Fists, they're Salamanders, they're all the successor chapters, they're the 13th. But there's no reason why they can't say that the first Legion itself managed to keep hand like a relic Sky Hunters, and that the White Scars would have definitely done all they can to keep as many Sky Hunters going as possible. And I don't think it spoils it. I don't think it spoils it for any Horus Heresy players. I mean, I'm a Horus Heresy player, and I'd be happy to see 2 of the legions, 2 of the OG chapters have access, and only them, to have access to bikes in Warhammer 40k. Don't make it ubiquitous. Don't make it available to everyone. Just make it available to the best bikers in the 40k verse. And they should be available. What do you think? Do you think they should be available in 40k? I think they should be available in 40k. Winters won a trophy. I did. Yeah. Did you hear about that? What a surprise. Never heard that. I know, right? You've got to be humble. Particularly when you beat other legends like Vanguard Tactics, Tabletop Titans. Particularly when you beat other people like that. And those 3 guys, those 3 channels, absolute legends. But particularly when you beat them. I mean, yeah. Who'd have thunk it? It turns out that there's levels to this game. There's levels. I'm just a level above. Valrak won something as well at that tournament. Let's just say it was made of wood. Do you reckon they'll make the 40k rules more like the Horus Heresy rules? No. I don't. The 40k rules were the Heresy rules. 7th edition, 40k, and Heresy were the same thing. They're not going back that way. As Ragnar Lothbrok once said, don't look backwards. You're not going that way. If the Eschers can make a jet bikes, then all Astartes should. Exactly, Marius Gage. If the Eschers can have jet bikes, why can't Astartes have jet bikes? Chris, got tier 3, a hoodie and a mug. Love your stuff. I love you too, Krish. And the mugs, by the way, the mugs were so rare that we actually had a mug count, and I don't know what the mug count is, because in the past 48 hours we've had an explosion of mugs and hoodies and t-shirts, but mainly mugs. So it looks like the rare and beautiful Winter's SEO mug is now, well, it's still rare as far as the population's concerned, but there's much more of them out in the wild, maybe doubled or tripled in the last 48 hours. So thank you to everyone who's bought a piece of merch. I should be rocking my own merch this evening, shouldn't I? Perhaps even drinking from my own mug. There's more professional ways to do this. But that's not what you'll hear. I mean, imagine if I was more professional. There's a joke in there. Again, brain. See, that's how unprofessional I am. I can't even tamp those. Samuel, do you think plastic javelins are coming? Plastic javelins. Yes, I do. I do believe plastic javelins are coming. I think there is an intention to try and release as much Horus Heresy stuff in plastic as possible, with the exception of like Contempted chests and the shoulder pads and the Legion specific stuff. Forge World, every single one of those resin sculpts is hand cast, so it's a very labor intensive process. If you buy I haven't got anything to hand to show you, but if you buy, so if you buy a Titan or a tank or something like that, someone's got to go away and hand cast that, and those molds are destroyed. Each mold you destroy every time you make the thing, and yeah, it's for economies of scale, that is no good. So the more they can make it plastic, the more they can sell, the easier it is to produce, the less labor intensive it is. That's one of the reasons why Forge World prices are so high, because you've got to pay a person every single time you go and buy one. Yeah, I think that there's an intention to make it almost all of it plastic. I wouldn't be surprised that in a couple of years' time, everything that's in those big books, where's a big book? Again, they're all next door because I played today. Everything that is not a Legend's Choice now comes out in plastic, would be my guess. I remember when Horus rode jet bikes with the Emperor. I know Horus and the Emperor rode those jet bikes. Do you remember that scene? Whether there were the cherry blossoms, Horus and Emperor looking at each other, going, "I love you, son. I love you, father." That was an epic scene. If you were more professional, Winters, you wouldn't be you now, would you? No. 10th edition prediction. Alferis is a triplet and Lionel Johnson is actually the third. Well, technically the first. Boom. Mic drop. Love it. If I wanted professional, I'd switch over to Falrak. Exactly. He is professional. Yellow through and through. I wouldn't doubt GW releasing grab bikes eventually. No, I wouldn't doubt them either, particularly with Belisarius Call floating around and the Lion coming back and Guilliman. At some point, Guilliman and the Lion are going to look around at all the bikes and go, 1 minute, why have they got wheels? I have the first ed 40k rulebook and the 3rd edition Warhammer Fantasy Battle. 3rd ed for Warhammer Fantasy Battle, man. I remember playing 2nd ed Warhammer Fantasy Battle. You're old like me, or maybe you just pick up all the nostalgic stuff. But 2nd ed Warhammer Fantasy Battle was G. And Death on the Reich role-playing game, absolutely. Well, the Warhammer Fantasy role-playing game was fantastic. We didn't do the whole thing. We did Death on the Reich, and then the next one that came out after that, which was set in the capital, and I've forgotten the name of it. Alex Holt, welcome to the 13th Tier 3. Thank you for your support. Thank you to everyone else who's chosen to support me over the last 48 hours. Your support has been legendary. It's been humbling. It's been overwhelming, really. All the messages that I've received, thank you. From all the other YouTubers that got in contact, thank you. Yeah. Start of a new beginning. Thank you. Grapkin is a 3rd edition Space Wolf book. If we're now bragging about old stuff. The Hobo started in 89. It was the summer of 89. It's like 3 years after it started. Wow. What if all the lion hints are just a red herring and instead the wolf will return? No, that's not going to be the case, Mordian57, and here's why. I said it in the other stream. They drop hints in the source material. Like this bit of source material, for example. They drop hints here. And the only other loyalist Primark of which we ever had hints about is the Lion. We haven't had confirmed sightings, reports of hints of Russ at all. We've had, actually, in the new Arcs of Omen book, this one. This is what I mean, like, in this book, there is a reference to Perturabo, and I can't remember the last time in a 40k, I don't think there's ever been a reference for, well, there probably have been, but in a decade or so, more than a decade or so, of a contemporary piece of 40k writing, which says that Perturabo's been floating around with Fulgrim and they've been doing this thing over here, and it puts it directly in the modern lore. Well, that happens in this book. It's a sentence, and they mention either Fulgrim or Angren, and at the same time Perturabo in the same sentence, and then go on to the next thing. The fact that Perturabo's been dropped in this book, it means that Perturabo's coming. It means he's active, he's in the galaxy, he's doing stuff and things, probably building some walls, some sandcastle on the beach, and fortifying them with some mortars and all that sort of stuff, and he's having a jolly old good time. It'd be very interesting to see if he's actually all chaosed up, or whether he's still resisting the old chaos thing like Abaddon. Abaddon has been doing all this time. But yeah, that's how you know that it's the Lion coming, because I think the first big hint was in the Dark Angels Codex back in 8th. Hey Winters, you know why that song is actually called Summer of 69, right? No, Taylor Allison, and if it's not rude, tell me. Demogorgon, hey Winters, have you or are you going to be doing a boarding actions game with Terminators versus Nyx, aka Spacehawks? I haven't filmed any boarding actions yet. We'll be filming some boarding actions at some point. We had hints of Dawn in the War of the Beast. We had hints of Dawn in a few books. I'm not talking Black Library books. I'm talking about 40k source material books. Because we have hints of the Primarchs in the Black Library books all the time. Well, not all the time. There are rare hints in the Black Library contemporary books of Primarchs. But actually in source material books that Games Workshop write as opposed to a novelist. The Hobo. Become a member for 3 months. Thank you. I was here for you and will support you. Need to organise a heresy game. Yes, we do. Hit me up in the Discord. Welcome to the Tier 3, Adam Bullock. Thank you for becoming a channel member. What does 40k Lorgar look like? He's got tails and yeah, he's a wisp snake thing with many arms. Is there any point of having a Ferrus Manus model? I know, right? Why is Ferrus Manus actually in the Horus Heresy? Why can you get his model, and why is in 30k Horus Heresy? Why is he it's just a bit part. He's gone. He's like Brad Pitt in True Romance. He's in it for a bit, and it's awesome while he's there, but then he's gone. Do you think 10th will see Primaris being able to use drop pods and land raiders, etc.? From what I've heard, yes. From what I've heard, the restrictions of putting Primaris in this or other ones in that is going to go. I think there's going to be a push to try and make Warhammer 40k more accessible, and I think that's what 10th edition is. 8th edition was the accessible edition, 9th edition was the tournament edition, and 10th edition, they need to be accessible again. And putting little things in codexes saying this guy can't get... all these tiny little rules that say X, Y, Z, which doesn't make sense, shouldn't be there. Because little Timmy will buy his Land Raider and he'll buy his Bladegar veterans and he'll rock up and he'll play against his mate, and his mate's, oh no, you can't put them in there, and they'll be like, oh, and then it's a barrier. Yeah. So Bladegar veterans coming out of drop pods is going to be epic. I do think at some point though, because we've had Primarisified everything. We've Primarisified bikes, we've Primarisified this, we've got Primarisified Devastators now with the Nerf guns. I think we're going to get Primarisified drop pods and flyers. I think they're still to come. Will we ever know more about Captain Sol Garrow's backstory? You know everything you need to know. I can't say about anymore. Isn't 40k pay to win? You must have all the dicks. Dicks? DLC? Oh, it's DLC. Isn't 40k pay to win? No, it's not quite like that. It's Codex Creep Central, that's what it is. True Romance, brilliant film. Yeah, one of Quentin Tarantino's best and earliest. I have Ferrus Manus and I magnetized his head. Boom. Lacus, welcome to the 13th Tier 3. You legend. Thank you for becoming a channel member. Thank you for choosing to help support me. Appreciate you. They're going to have to bring out a new drop pod system. The Primaris are used in Vanguard consistently. The Vanguard should be getting drop pod in the thick of it. Okay. DLCs. Yeah, I know I said dicks. I thought it was maybe like Disc World or something like that. Marius Gage has become a mega member. Thank you so much for becoming a mega member. I hope you're warm there in your many castles, and one of your servants has fetched you a warm brandy. Modian57, will we ever get the Overlord flyer that was mentioned in the very first Dark Imperium novel? Probably not, because it's probably quite big. Isn't the Overlord, it was quite a big one? I don't know. Or maybe it isn't a big one. Maybe it's a fighter like a Storm Raven, Storm Talon, Storm something or other. Maybe it's like one of them. It's going to be fine. Synathesia 12. Welcome to the 13th Tier 3. I appreciate you. Thank you. Drapkin. Law question. Were Ferrus Manus called Ferrus Manus before he fought the Silver Snake thing? If so, did the one naming him know he would get his floating metal hands? No, when he the floating metal snake skin, he was a boy. And that was before they found him. He was named Ferrus Manus after it. Yeah, so that's one of his many adventures that he got up to before the humans found him, picked him up, strangled the Necron thing in its lair with its living metal, which then infected him. But maybe it's not Necron. Maybe it's not living metal. Maybe it's just another thing in 40k, which is a bit like Necron, but not really. A bit like the arachnids on the planet Murder. They're not quite Tyranids, but they're close. You can have more than one species of sort of the same-ish thing. I mean, humans have got 2 legs and serve orcs. Aren't humans and orcs the same thing? Orcs are an army of football hooligans. It's basically, you put a bunch of orcs in a bar and a bunch of Chelsea supporters in the bar, they'll probably get on great, unless they support different teams. So who is this new Xenos race rumoured for 10th edition? Well, Tyranids are coming, and you've got the Space Hulk expansion, and the other new Xenos race will be Eldar Exodites, because that's been hinted at in the source material for a very long time. Can Ferrus Manus ever come back in the 41st millennium? Everyone can come back in the 41st millennium, including Horus and Sanguinius, if they wish it to be. They can rewrite canon, they can rewrite lore. I think we don't want them to do that. I think 16 no, how many are left? 18 minus 4 is math. 14. There's 14 left is enough. We're going to get all 14 Primarks back over the course of the next 10, 15, 20 years. Let's stick with them. I thought Horus got soul blasted. He did get soul blasted. Of course, he's been soul blasted into oblivion. But did he? Is there a twist? Maybe when the Emperor went, yeah, he actually grabbed Horus and imprisoned him, and Horus has been sat on the golden throne for the last 10,000 years, and the Emperor went off on a holiday to Marbella, and he's been chilling for the last, because he got a bit tired. He had to do it all for ages, and he's like chilling in the Imperial Dungeon, or maybe the Terminus Decree on Titan. He's locked in the canyon under there. And what he really did with Horus is he weakened him, he crippled him, and then he strapped him to the golden throne. And all this time, for the last 10,000 years, the whole of humanity, trillions, quadrillions of people have been praying to Horus. Maybe that's what happened. Sanguinius isn't dead. He's just having a really long rest. Yeah, Rapid. Maybe he's just mostly dead. And all he needs is the thing, yeah. Go and see Miracle Max down at the thing, and he'll come back again. 10th edition prediction. Ferrus comes back as an STC Robo Primark with an ED 209 like Gorgon. Super prediction. I like it. How do you think the leagues of Votann have been going since launch? Popularity lore-wise, Marius Gage. I can tell you that the popularity of leagues of Votann is the least well received new faction in 40k since Tau. And Tau were hated when they came in. Tau were... Oh, and some people still hate Tau. The lore works. The one thing... the one thing you can reliably guarantee on Games Workshop fucking up is the lore. Not the Black Library Light writers, but the people who write this. They fuck it up all the time. Well, they didn't fuck up the lore for the leagues. It works. And actually the lore for the first one of these, the Arcs of Omen Book 1, actually works. So there's been some changes in the studio. And they didn't fuck up the lore for the Leagues of Votann. What they did do is fuck up the model launch and the release of that. And they're two... So, yeah. And the rules. Like, Leagues of Votann can do anything. You want to fall back and shoot like an Ultramarine? Yeah. You want Markerites like Tau? Yeah. You want to re-roll morale like Space Marines used to do? Yeah. You want Armor of Contempt? You got that. You want this strat to this thing? Do you want a burger? You've got that. Onions on it? Yes. They'll make you fart. Don't worry. We've got this. Void armor, we're good. Yeah, it wasn't a good launch because they played it safe, because we've got moon buggies and devastators and berserkers, and we've already got devastators and berserkers in Warhammer 40k, so we didn't need any more devastators and berserkers in Warhammer 40k. What we needed was something that stands out, like Necrons stand out, like Tau stand out, like Dark Eldar. It needs to have an aesthetic which is noticeably different and makes you go, wow, that's really cool. So they should have gone for a full-on Dune aesthetic, or a full-on Mass Effect aesthetic type of thing, a full-on Star Trek type aesthetic, a full-on futuristic sci-fi sort of aesthetic, which the community would have really raged against, like they raged against Tau when they came out, because back then 40k was really grimdark, and then they introduced Gundam guys who appeared to be the good guys on the surface. And oh my emperor, was the 40k community enraged when Tau came out. But look at them now. Just take a look at me now. There's nothing here to play. Phil Collins, legend. Yeah, they fit in perfectly. And in a big wide galaxy of a billion trillion, I think there's at least 28 trillion zillion stars in the galaxy, something like that. Someone will tell me how many. That there's plenty of room for other species and races and things. Also, if they were going to launch a whole new species and race and things, wouldn't it be good if it was Xenos rather than some more humans? But don't worry, more Xenos are coming. Eldar Exodites coming to 10th edition near you. Tau broke friendships. I just looked. Yes, it did. I won't play Tau or Eldar even if there's a fire. You should play against them. Like, I am not a particular fan of the Eldar. Well, I like the Darkkin, the Dark Eldar, because they're like, yeah, we did it. What are you going to do about it? I like their arrogance. I like they are so complicit in it. I like their evilness. I like the Hellblazer vibe. I like everything about the Darkkin. They're awesome. Harlequins, I get that too. But Craftworld Eldar snuck up snobby bastards. Bastards, the lot of them. So I love killing them. So I love going up against Eldar. 100 to 300 billion stars in the Milky Way. There you go. And I think nearly all of them are planets, most of them. I think that's been confirmed. And like 50% of them have like rocky planets. And I think of all the ones they've found, isn't it like half of all the planets that they've surveyed have like planets in their Goldilocks zone? It's like high. I like Harlequins and Ynnari. I hope Fulgrim returns feasting on Exodites. That would be cool. We're going to get Cypher. Well, we're going to get the Lion back, and so hopefully they tie in the Cypher. Wouldn't it be a shame after all this time, Cypher's story arc with the lion sword on his back, with his gun-slinging pistols, the plasma and thing, Cypher's lore is epic. And it would be really nice if he tied that up at the end and showed us that Cypher is loyal and the Cypher from back in the day. And so it'd be nice to see them tidy all that stuff up. We need space rats. Space Skaven? You're just jealous the 13th don't have singing spears. Taylor Allison? No. You see? Who want... No. I don't want a singing spear. What kind of weapon is that? Like, you turn it on And it's like, I should be so lucky, stabby. No, what the hell? You need explosions, you need las cannons, you need exterminators, screw you and a singing spears, and other screwy crap. It's not a weapon. Don't we already have space rats? Isn't there something for the guard? Ratlings. Tyranids are Skaven in space. Yeah, kind of. I mean, the Harud. There's two views of the Harud. Back in the day, Harud was supposed to be the space Skaven, but there's been some counter law which shows them as almost slimy monsters, and they live in caves. So there's no fixed canon on what the Harud actually truly look like. There's some conflicting, as Luton would say, no law in Warhammer 40k is fixed. Everything is all over the place. But the Harud originally filled the role that Skaven did when 40k was launched. And when 40k was launched, it was, hey, do you want to play with elves, dwarves, goblins, orcs, humans in space? Now you can. And the Harud fit that thing. Would the Great Horned One be a capable warp god? Yes, the Great Horned One would be a capable warp god and get his butt kicked by Khorne all the time. S-Chan, it would be good to type cipher in a good way, returning the lion sword to the lion. Yes, absolutely. I believe Singing Spears sings she'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. There's a model of the Harud Fusel on a Necromunda trading post scenery kit because you can buy a Harud Fusel on the black market in Necromunda. Yeah. The Haruds are supposed to use radiation weapons. Immune to radiation and use rad weaponry and things. Pemont, unpopular opinion. Oh, let's strap ourselves in for this one, people. Pemont is going to pop an unpopular opinion. I didn't really enjoy the end and the death. There was a lot of waffle. A quarter of the pages could be removed with no impact on the story. Some parts were good, but it was a drag. Pemont, get out. I wanted it to drag so much longer. I wanted the end and the death. Instead of there for a quarter of the pages to be removed. No. If there was a drag and it dragged, I would love it to drag for 100 hours. Get out. You're wrong. You're just wrong. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey, Pemont. It is the end and the death. Feathers being ruffled. Yes, you're just wrong. I'm right. You're wrong. Your opinion is wrong. Are you allowed to say that on the internet? Yes. Well, I've just said it. In second edition, the best edition. No, second edition is one of the worst editions. Second edition sucked. It didn't suck. Second edition was almost impossible to play. Second edition was Warhammer. See, Rogue Trader was almost a role-playing game with miniatures in it. And second edition, look, it's actually really successful. Let's get a second edition out. And launch loads of more stuff so people can play. And it was so RPG because it was based on the old Warhammer Fantasy Battle stuff. With vehicles with turning arcs, with 2d6 saves on the Terminators, with Harlequins getting extra attack for every inch on the charge 2d6. And they already had 8. And you rolled a 12 and they had 20 attacks on the charge. Had all of these things going on. It was like trying to RPG a war game. So it was the best edition if you liked all those little things all along the way, but it was the worst edition if you actually wanted to play a war game. It was almost impossible to play. And I have yet to meet someone who played. I've met a couple of people online who said they did, but I've yet to meet someone who played second edition following all the rules without house ruling some stuff because it was almost impossible to play. In fact, when I tried second edition back in the day and we house ruled the crap out of it, and I didn't play it very much back then. I was mainly into Epic and Space Hulk and Titanicus. What was I playing? I mean, it was expensive to get a whole army together back then. But I have yet to meet someone who truly played second edition following all the rules of second edition because it was an impossible game to play. So if it was the best edition, how come no one could play it? Who said that? Second edition. I want to see. Third edition best. Third edition equals best edition. Someone else said. I loved second edition. Can't imagine playing it today. Watched the second edition battle report. Was fun to see, yet it was a weird game. That's Ginger Steve. Yeah, it's second edition was impossible to play. I've only played full fat second edition stuff. Have you? Only? I'm not angry with you, Winters. I'm disappointed. Stuff earlier up. You've only played full fat second edition. Early 8th edition was the best edition. Early 8th edition was the most accessible edition. Yeah. I remember walking into Finchley Central, buying Road Trader back in the day. Good times. Anyone excited for potential new epic? I am. I started in third, had a blast. Third was, so there's been 3 editions. First and second, that was built around the same rule set. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, it's all around the same rule set. And then 8th and 9th, it's around the same rule mechanics, shall we say. So there's been 3 editions of Warhammer 40k, and there's been different, it's like patches, like patch 1, and then patch 1.1 was second edition. And then we had patch 2, which was third, fourth, and then you had patch 2.1, 2.2. You know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? Has Pemont left? Good. You've only played full fat second edition. Oh, he's still here. Pemont, say that I'm right and you're wrong. You know I'm right and I'm wrong. It's about the journey, not the destination. And where is Santa stuff? I want to find out, have you only played full fat second edition without any house ruling? Like the rules in the book, because you will be the first person, I'll consider it, Pemont. You'll be the first person, and be truthful now, that I have ever spoken to who's actually played second edition as it's written, because it's impossible to play. Disco Dolly came back in 8th and felt fresh. Yeah, 8th felt fresh. 8th was a good. Are the 3 Dark Imperium books a good read? They are a good read. They're 7 out of 10s and not 10 out of 10s. I loved Epic. Could play with tanks and titans. I loved Epic. Epic 1. I preferred Epic 1 to Epic 2. You'd remember when the bases were square rather than the long thing, and had the old Thunderhawk gunship lead model, which just looked like a dinky toy rather than the new sculpt. I preferred Epic number 1 to 2. 2 got a bit crazy. No house rules, just the OG second edition rules, says Stuff. No house rules, just the OG second edition rules. Well, if that's true, sir, you are a diamond in the rough. You are and I've spoken to a lot of people and interact with a lot of people. You're the first person, if you're speaking the truth, that I know of that has played second edition. One of my things on the podcast, on live streams, on 40k, and when I've interacted with people in real life, one of the things I've stuck to since I did YouTube is the line, no one played second edition. No one. So I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to write this down. Someone actually... Okay, so it's going to change to 1 person played second edition. And that is you. Well, 2. I can't use that line anymore. Because I know someone who actually played second edition, or at least said they played second edition. Are you speaking the truth? Are you speaking truthfully? I had a very autistic group of friends back in the 90s. Nice. Yeah, the rules were, well, at least there wasn't any flyers or super heavies, all the other things and the stuff and things. Oh, sorry, I've missed a donation. Marius Gage, I was there in second ed. I was there at HR4. Yeah, man. Yeah. It was lovely. Lovely times. Did you read some of the Horus Heresy on audiobook? No, you don't read Ashmain Horus Heresy on audiobook. You listen to Horus Heresy on audiobook. I assume what you're asking is, I read all the Horus Heresy books, and I've read them all in the paperback version or on Kindle. I've only just started doing the Heresy on Audible. I say started. I started in January 2021, around there, and I'm up to Deliverance Lost. So for the first time, I'm doing Heresy on Audible. And it's really weird listening to the Heresy on Audible as opposed to actually reading it. It's it's not really, it's the things that pop up that shine forth from Audible as opposed to shining forth from the written page. It gives you a different, and also the narrators, when they're telling the story, might emphasize different bits. So yeah, it's weird what stands out to you when you're listening to it on Audible as opposed to reading it. Was second edition the one with vehicle charts? Yes. Where you placed a template over to determine where it was hit? Yes. That was it. Yes. And the turning arcs and all? Yes. And you could basically put anything on anyone. Do you remember any gun on anything? And all those? And you could load it. Oh. I would love to play Second Ed. I played maybe 1 to 3 games of 4th, and that was the first few times I played. Then 5th came out. 4th and 5th are virtually the same game. I do remember 5th introduced the run mechanic for the first time, and that was like a breath of fresh air, because in 5th edition, because in 4th edition everything moves 6, everything, nothing had a different movement value except for vehicles. They could move 6 or flat out go 12, and then was it flat out? And then the speeder 18. Everything moved a fixed distance, and everything charged a fixed distance. So you could pre-measure to see whether... No, there wasn't any pre-measuring in. But you could eyeball it, knowing that if you move there, you could definitely make that charge. And then 5th edition introduced the run mechanic. And I think that's variable charges came out with 5th edition as well, I think. But I do remember the run mechanic coming in 5th, which was a breath of fresh air. Where are we? So it came back in 9th, really, says Ginger Steve. Yeah, a lot of people came back in 9th and 10th. I think about a third of people... Mini Wargaming did that poll, and 30,000+ people responded to it. And it was about 6 months ago. And a third of the responses were they started 40k the last year. So a third of people now in the gaming space who actually play 40k haven't known 8th or 7th. They're new. And we should look after them, and we should feed them hobnobs, and we should help them win as many games as possible, and learn to play fun and against, and do it the right way. Big burp. Do you remember Orc Jenga Tower? Yes. So that was a 1st and 2nd edition thing. So you would get battle wagons. You would get battle wagons that were built like sailing boats with these big towers. And you'd go to your local gaming store, and you'd rock up, and people were moving these orc transports across the battlefield with like 30 orcs hanging off of them and pushing them around, these massive conversion bits, and they were epic. And the transport capacity of a battle wagon was as many orcs as you could fit on the battle wagon. So they would have... I remember, like at my local, there was a guy, and he had 2 main masts, like a battleship, on his 2 battle wagons, and he could put the orcs out on the mast, and he could fit like 30 on one and 30 on the other. And you've got to remember, this is back in the day when the orcs were metal, and he'd push them along, and then one would fall off and destroy your miniature when it fell on it. So that was the thing. When did they stop that? If you could shot somewhere, they were the only unit you could charge. 8th. So yeah, 7th edition. So 3rd through 7th is you can only shoot and charge the unit that you want to shoot. That you can only charge the unit that you shot at. That changed in 8th. 8th was simplified edition. You can shoot wherever you want, charge wherever you want. And then they screwed it up and made it really complicated in 9th. I remember getting the 3rd edition box set for Christmas, whatever that was. 3rd Ed 1, Black Templars. Never understood all the love for 8th edition. After starting with 3rd edition, I almost quit when 8th was released. So bad and many stupid rules. Yeah, so this is the thing. If you don't like 8th or 9th, then play Heresy, because Heresy is basically, it's got the guts of the 7th edition rule set, right? Because when Heresy came out, 30k came out, it was 7th edition, and it was the rule set. It was the same. There was no new rule set for Heresy. They just released Heresy and say, hey, do you want to play with these models as well? So 7th edition and Horus Heresy were the same edition. It's just that in 7th edition, if you brought an Ultramarines Codex for 40k, it came out in a Codex. And if you brought an Ultramarines Codex for Heresy, it came out in one of the big black books. So if you don't like 8th, 9th edition, play Heresy. Because at its core, it's still 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th edition. It's that underneath. 70% of the rules, 80% of the rules, 70% of the rules, around that amount of the rules are 7th edition still. So play Heresy. You'll love it. South Upper, welcome to the 13th tier 3. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you. All this talk of boats. You and Salt will need to play some more Sea of Thieves. Those streams were incredible. I know, Taylor Allison. I'm trying to get the boys to stream again. And what I need to do is set up this thing. So Winter's SEO, I could do like stupid live streams with you guys on a Friday night when I'm doing things. But yeah, we need to do. But it's technical and I can't do that, which is why I relied on Sultan to do it. Alex Holt, there's a thing, there's rose tinted sunglasses, blah blah blah. RC, is Russ coming back soon? Please tell me yes. Russ is coming back, but we don't know when. I shouldn't say it with so much authority. I believe that all the Primarks will be returning over the next X years. We've had Guilliman, we know the Lion's coming back. We've got Mortarion, Magnos, Angron, and we know Fulgrim's coming. So there's 6. And 8 years ago, 9 years ago, 0 Primarks. Now we've got 6. So if they release 6 in 9 years, then in the next 9 years, they're a model-making company. They want to sell you models. If they released a Russ model, then they would just make bank. So it's my strong belief that Russ is coming, and Vulcan, and the Khan, and the lore also seems to. So not just from a business point of view and the hints that they've left, but the lore, the way they're pulling the lore together. There are the Horus Heresy wasn't one and done. It wasn't the Emperor's fight against Chaos and he lost. The Horus Heresy is a chapter in the Emperor's fight against Chaos, which has been raging prior to the Horus Heresy. They mention it again and again and again during the Horus Heresy that this war has been waging for 30,000 years. The Heresy is chapter 28, and the war has been waging for another 10,000 years. This is ongoing, and the Great Rift is part of that. So we had the Ruin Storm during the Heresy. Now we have the Great Rift now. And the Primarchs are returning for the final battle, the end of days, the final confrontation at the galaxy, and there is only war. And the Tyranids are coming in and eating everything, and the Necrons are waking up, and the Tau are hiding in the corner, trying not to say boo to anyone in case any one of the major powers looks in their general direction and wipes them out on a Sunday afternoon. Yeah, destroying entire galactic systems is a Tuesday for the Necrons, so the Tau better be very, 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 very quiet. So based on all the stuff that's happening with the lore and the tying together with the old stuff, with the new stuff, with where we are in Pariah and the Yellow King, and looking at the model making, looking at their business sense, it's I would bet my house that Russ is coming. But when, we don't know. He's also going to be a really good one to bring back. Him or Vulcan will be the easiest ones to bring back after the Lion. Where are we? I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be. I got a feeling that whoever is in the warp are looking for Ferrus Manus body parts. Aru. Giant Plus tweets, the traitor Primarchs will come back and the loyalist Primarchs turn to chaos. Dun dun dun. That's almost like, Of course, there cannot be an end to the war, though, cause then the game ends. No, there's never going to be an end. How long? So someone says like 100 billion to 200 billion. There's billions and billions, hundreds of billions of stars here. How long would it take for a galaxy to die? Like the Tyranids are eating the galaxy, nom nom nom. How long does it take for hundreds of billion? It's not going to end that way. It's just going to get worse. And the law's getting worse. The law has always got worse, and the law's getting much, much worse. The dial, they turned it up to 11 back in, I don't know, second ed. It went to 12, and now it's gone to 13. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. The Imperium is one big war machine, which is fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting, fighting for its life and fighting to stay alive. And it'll take a very, very long time for the galaxy to die, because the Tyranids are going to eat everything and win. Who wins 40k? Tyranids, but it takes them hundreds of thousands of years to do it. So not long if another great rift appears. You don't need another great rift. One great rift is... How many great rifts do you need? One is enough. The lore itself or the story, because both the lore, it's the IP, it's gonna worse. 200 years for the Emperor to take over the galaxy, more or less, except for the entire galactic core, apparently, which he missed. Yes, because no one can go in the entire galactic core. It's impregnable. It breaks the laws of physics unless you have machines and AI that can bend the law of physics in order to get you in there. And Leagues of Votann, that makes sense in the big... Yeah, it took the Emperor 200 odd years. That's with warp travel and with Primarks. Okay, 200 years. How long does it take to kill a galaxy? 200 years. Good answer. But 200 years is still a very long time. So at least we've got 200 years left of lore and 40k as it all collapses. But then you've got the Yellow King and the return of the Primarks, all that sort of stuff. So there's the comeback. Yeah, the band have got to come back. The Beatles will get back together. Everything's going to be fine. No, Tyranids can't win, as they will face the Orcs. They are our galaxy's Tyranids. No, they're not. The Orcs are... No, LDZ. The Tyranids are a faction that eats galaxies. The Orcs are an autoimmune system for the galaxy, which stops any particular part of the body that makes up the galaxy. If any, and it rises up and itches and stops it. The Orcs have never spread across to other galaxies and killed other galaxies. The Tyranids, here's the thing. Say the Tyranids aren't just eating our galaxy right now. Say the Tyranids are eating 1,000 other galaxies. Say the Tyranids are currently eating our entire galactic cluster right now at the same time. Do you realize how massive the Tyranid organism could be? Compared to Orcs, they are they're just Orcs. I mean, Orcs are lovely and all that. Don't get me wrong. I do love a lovely Orc on a Sunday. It's a nice guy. You can have gentle conversation, long walks in the park. Orcs are lovely. Have you ever met Murphy? Murphy, he's a nice guy. He might be howling mad, but he's lovely. But he's not the Tyranids. The Tyranids is dialing it up to 11 threat. Evening, Traitoruskin. The galaxy can't end until the Eldar have had their end time prophecy. No one cares about the Eldar. Okay, they can, who cares? They're dead. They just need to lie down, go to a corner, lie down. Don't disturb the rest of us. Go to your retirement home, Cormora. Stay there. Stay quiet. You had your time. It is no longer your time. Don't care about your prophecies. Go to sleep. Just go away. Other galaxies don't count, as the Tyranids don't have warp travel or fast and light travel. They kind of have a thing. This kind of... We don't really know if it's faster or light travel, don't they? Because they do this bending the warp with all their psychic stuff, the bow wave. Is it faster than light? I need to check the thing. They can eat as many galaxies as they want. They'll not overcome a good old bayonet to the face. Yes, Mordian 5-7, that's the way, you see. So the Tyranids can consume as many galaxies as they want to. And then they'll meet the guard. But did the Emporium really ever conquer the whole galaxy in 200 years? Did the Imperium conquer the galaxy in 200 years? No. The idea was conquer the main parts of the galaxy, I guess, and overcome the main threats to the Imperium, like the Orcs at Ullanor, like XYZ, like the main threats. And then they left sort of Horus and the other guys on the cleanup detail, didn't they? On the cleanup crew. And that's why they run into the Interacts and stuff like that. So they left. So it took 200 years to destroy the other big factions in the galaxy. And now we're on cleanup. Is the Yellow King Russ? No, it's probably Valdor. We don't know. Good trench system, some Krieg defense in depth. Good old zeal will see us through this. Exactly, Alex Holt. Good trench system. Your Imperium Guardsman infantry primer. And some corpse starch. We'll get through the other side. Remember, the planet broke before the guard did. Pemot is still here. Hi, Pemot. Have you changed your mind yet? The drift between galaxies takes a very, very long time. But if you're the Tyranids, time doesn't mean much. No need to rush your dinner. Yeah, exactly. And I think they do have faster light. I can't recall how the Tyranids move so quickly, but it's definitely mind stuff. Old humans did spread and conquer it. The galaxy, do you mean? With the help of AI and diplomacy. Emperor did just the cleanup. Cat bed is empty. Yeah, he's on the bed. On her side of the bed, curled up, right up next to her pillows. So when she gets in this evening, she's going to be like, where did all this cat hair come from? It happens. P90 prefers her side of the bed to my side of the bed. It's like he knows which side stinks, and so he'll go and sit on the nice perfumey, moistury side of the bed, because girls use moisturizer and things, don't they? I don't know why. Hello. You still hate the end of the death. Well, you're wrong. We discussed this. Amaris, we don't need to worry if the Milky Way gets eaten in about 1 billion years. Exactly. It takes a long time. And then Andromeda hits and repopulates. Yeah, but you see, Andromeda and the Milky Way galaxy are going to clash. But say the Andromeda galaxy is teeming with Tyranids. And we just fight the Tyranids off. We manage to defeat the Tyranids. And then the Emperor rises again. And all the Primarks are there. And they're all high-fiving down the street. And and the Chaos is defeated alike. And then the Necrons put back in their place. And everyone's having a lovely time. The Andromeda Galaxy merges with the Milky Way. And the Andromeda Galaxy, which is larger than the Milky Way, is swarming with Tyranids. It's, oh no. Fight! Round 2. Milky Ways are not very villing though, says Monkey. No, they're not. That's why you can have 7 of them in one sitting, a Milky Way. Tominator, 18. Hi, Winters. I met you at Warhammer World last year at the Horus Heresy Open Day. Just wanted to say that it was really great meeting you that day. I was starstruck all weekend. So was I. There were so many great content creators there. I was starstruck all weekend as well. Are you one of the fellas that talked about playing Horus Heresy? One of the playtesters that I spoke to? Because I remember speaking to a junk of fellas and like, hi, what do you think of the heresy? And they were like, I was like, talk to me. And I punched and I jumped and like suplex and, all that. Broke out my WWE moves on the group. And there was like 10 of them, or maybe 5. But I managed to wrestle them all down. And when they were like, no, tapping out, then they told me that they were play testers for the heresy and they played 50 plus games. And that it was epic. And having played 20 plus games now, you were right. It is epic. But not epic, it's heresy. Not epic. But it's epic heresy. You know what I mean? What are we talking about? Williams, but what if you're over there? Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Scython Nelo. Tyranids for the win. Everyone else is biomass. Exactly, Charles. That's what I'm talking about. Everyone else is biomass. You're right. Adamantium Wang. Adamantium Wang, thank you for your donation. Hey Winters, long time fan here. Just wanted to say I appreciate you and all you do. Love all your work. All the best from Australia. You're an Australian. We spoke about Australians earlier on in the stream. We have a theory that Australians have evolved to have like Velcro on the soles of their feet, like natural Velcro skin, so they don't fall off the underside of the world while they're walking around under the world. Do you have Velcro on your feet? Alex Holt, do you have a Discord server? Yes, I do. To join my Discord server, Alex, because I can see you're a tier 1 member, you need to join to tier 2 or higher. So tier 1 is emojis and badges, and it's a way to support me. If you want to join the Discord, then you need to join a tier 2 channel member, and then you'll get a notification from YouTube, and you click on the notification, then you'll get into the Discord. Tier 3 also unlocks all the extra videos and things from me. as well. So yeah, you need to become at least a tier 2 channel member to join my Discord. And thank you to everyone who has chose to become a channel member in the last 48 hours. And the Discord's really popping off right now, and I'm really pleased to see it. So thank you, everyone. Alex Holt is tier 3 winners. You're tier 3, so you should have got a notification from when you became tier 3 from YouTube, and then you click on the thing, and then you get in the thing. So is anyone else in the chat, like Monkey or someone who's tier 2 or higher, that can... Oh, you found it. There you go. So you get in the Discord, you click the thing, and then when you're in the Discord will ask you to verify your account, and then you click the thing, and then you wait like half hour for YouTube to talk to Discord to say yes, that is a real thing, and then you can, yeah. So you're like in a purgatory. You'll be in like this waiting room before it goes. Yeah, so you're there. The pets channel is the best. I know. Every morning there's more and more and more pets. You wake up, you look at pets. I mean, that's epic. Who's messaging me on the thing in the middle? I'm streaming. Look at me stream. Chris, go away. Yeah, Pets channel was really good. Hi, Winters. What is the tank I can see in the mirror? There's two of them. It's a Kyrios battle tank from Mechanicum 30k Horus Heresy. Two of them. Which I painted recently. And they are anti-infantry ones. Strength 7 AP3 large blast rending. They're good for infantry, but strength 7 no good against... They're not that good against elites or vehicles. These are very good against elite vehicles because that's 4-shot ordnance. Strength 9 AP2. So they're Mechanicum stuff from 40k. Found it, Pets channel, High Winters, Death of Hope, or the Space Marine Saga were some of my favourite campaigns. I love this. I love them all. Death of Hope. I do hear from a lot of people that Death of Hope campaign was good, and the stories that we did in the Saga of the Red Foss campaigns, they were fantastic, and so they will be coming across to YouTube hopefully once Kat sorts out the technical sides of things. Adamantum Wang, are you walking upside down? You haven't answered it. Sven Axfear said he's Australian and he hates carpets. See, Velcro on his feet. We know that. Tier 4 here, Winters Charles. Thank you. Wow. Tier 4. Those are the mega members. And they hang out in their mansions with servitors bringing them balloons of brandy and things. Or they're crazy people with more money than sense. Alex Holt managed to get it working. I was in the Discord before it was cooler. Aussie, don't know, it's sorted now, just joined myself, but if not, did it, the bear, see perks there. Aussie, that doesn't make sense to me. Adamantum Wang, I did. It just lost in the scroll. Right. Yeah. Stuff and stuff. Everyone check your wallet. There's Australians in the chat. I hope you mean that from a 40k point of view, because Australia is like treble the price. I mean, we talk about price increases, but down there, I do feel sorry for them. The Australians having to pay treble the price for their Warhammer 40k. I mean, it must be horrible living there with all that sunshine and beaches and koala bears and really chilled out attitude and far away from war and terror and war. And war and things. It must be horrible being in Australia. Yeah. Is it possible if you can make a video of your 40k book collection? Well, I could, but I forget. I moved to Kindle. So it's not going to be that big. I mean, I've got about 50 books. Guns of Tanith. Where's that one? There's some of my Gaunt's Ghosts. But I moved to Kindle about 10 years ago or so. So yeah, it's like, here's some of my books and then a shot of the Kindle, because like you can get a Kindle for like 30 quid these days, and they're good on beaches. And what I was doing is, I'm quite a fast-ish reader, so I can read a book a day. I can get through one of those quite easily, like on holiday. About a year ago, I brought all of Gaunt's Ghosts with me and I nailed a book a day all the way through. So it was getting quite heavy in the suitcases. So she was like, look, you need to get a Kindle. This is silly. So I do a Kindle mainly now. Could you do some bat reps to start with a small scale 500 point skirmishes, but build up to a final big match? The map objectives based on earlier results. RC, probably. Yes, maybe. I haven't got any plans to do any campaigns at this time. Charles, I'm far from rich. Everyone should be tier 4. I just dropped all my other channels. Charles, you're a legend. Love you, Winters, he says. I love you too. Thank you for your support. Thank you. Does it feel like you're reading a book when you have a Kindle, or does it feel like a screen? Right, okay, yeah. So nothing beats that new book smell, that feel, that page turner smell, right, of a book. There's something, books that, I mean, you can just, you know, oh, it's so good. Even old books, like, it's just so good. And then reading it and the things and the, you know, it's lovely. Books are great. And they feel, you know, books, lovely. But in defense of Kindle, once you've got a Kindle, once you're reading a book, you know how when you're reading a book, you're not really here, you're there. You hear the gunshots, you hear the screaming, you see it, you're in it. So when you're in a book, you're in a book. So it doesn't really matter. And same for Audible, I find. It doesn't really matter once you're in it. And that's the job of the author, I guess, to pull you in it. So once you're in it doesn't really matter. Mind you, this is when he hits this one. Like Gaunt's Ghost is that series which starts off okay, but it gets better and better and better. And then you hit this. This is one of the best hive. It's about a hive city and the defense of a hive city against an enemy. And that's been done before, and done since, sorry. It's been done a couple of times, such as Armageddon and Assault on Black Reach, those sorts of things. But this does it best, the defense of a hive city. And that one, when you're like, Gaunt's okay, this is good, I'm enjoying these characters, and then Acropolis hits, and you're like, epic. Yeah, when you're in it, it doesn't really matter, I think, whether you're reading it by Kindle or reading it on paper, because it's just, you're in it. Do you know what I mean? Also, all this Aussie love, try this hobby out in rural New Zealand. I know, it must be a nightmare. And also, don't you guys, the New Zealand guys and the Aussies, aren't you guys permanently at war with each other? You know, you're always invading each other's beaches on the battleships and attacking there because New Zealand's better than Australia. Australia's better than New Zealand. And there's a permanent war going on down there, I think. And also, if you're in the outback in New Zealand, out in the back and beyond, somewhere in Middle Earth, it must be really hard to get Space Marines in Middle Earth. I didn't see any in that movie, did you? It would be really useful if Sam and Frodo had a Space Marine with them, making their way to Mount Doom, particularly if it was a Space Marine Psyker. Sauron would be fucked. How have you been finding Horus Heresy 2.0, Winters? I'm loving it. I'm thinking it's really good fun. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10 would bang. New Zealand is like Scotland, but more remote. Thoughts and prayers. One of the best things in the world, buy a new book codex, go home, sit on the toilet and forget all your problems. Yes, baby. Text for the win. Can't do audiobooks. I take nothing in. Just becomes background noise. Yeah. I prefer reading to audio, but I am doing Audible now. And I do prefer reading, like I'm an all or nothing kind of guy. I like being there, entirely there and only there. But you can get a lot done with Audible in the background. So I am a convert to Audible, having it on in the background while I'm painting away and doing things such as these are going away too. Yeah, that. And then, but also on the Audible, I'm often stopping, rewinding. But when Audible hits it right, like Jonathan Keeble or the other guy who is really good, when Audible hits it, when they hit it, it's banging. Mootle Doodle is in Scotland. I've never been. I always wanted to go to Scotland, but I don't. It's one of those, I've seen Highlander. I know exactly what Scotland's like. I've seen Highlander and Braveheart. I want to go. But the problem is, to get to Scotland from where I am, you have to go through the north of England And no one wants to, the only person who ever wanted to go to the north of England were the Vikings, and even they gave it up in the end by the 1600s. So who would want to go there? I mean, Valrak's up there. Why would you want to go anywhere near there? Inverness is fucking great, though. Exactly. I want to get there, but you got to go through Valrak country. Winters, what bat rep are you most proud of on your members only? I don't know. I don't think of... I think more like on members only, the things that I'm most proud of in the members only thing at the moment are the Bell Tolls and Silver Cage, the two campaigns that are in there. One with Monkey, one with Stylus. One featuring Space Wars, one featuring Thousand Suns. Very proud of them. I think both of them came out really super well. Some people didn't get the Silver Cage, but it's a narrative campaign. I won't spoil it, but it's a narrative campaign. So I kind of like that some people didn't get it, but I really got it. And like the Bell Tolls, the ending for that was so satisfying because we don't spike anything. What happens, happens. And so the ending for that was so satisfying. So the things that I'm most proud of in the members are those two campaigns there. Winters, get the night train from London to Fort William. You will love it. I know, man. I want to get to Scotland at some point and have a wander around. Winters, which Primark is the best in your opinion? The best was Horus. He was the best of them. I split time between St. Andrews and Stockport, so go to Element a fair amount. Okay, cool. Monkey, you too. Yeah. How about a raffle for a Winters owned army? You want me to give away an army? That ain't happening. Stranger come knocking hobbies. Yo. Think they're probably the best campaigns you've done. You think that the Bell Tolls and the Silver Cage are probably the best campaigns I've done? Stranger come knocking hobbies. Thank you. There's been some weak ones. There have been some stronger ones. I think we're getting better at it. I think I'm getting better at it. The ones that people... I get the most amount of feedback about the Death of Hope and the Saga of the Red Frost, and both of those were filmed during 8th edition, and both of those will be coming to channel members over the next few weeks or so when I figure out all the tech. Silver Cage it is tomorrow. Yes. Have fun. The Silver Cage. Yeah, I mean, both of those campaigns are both 9th edition campaigns, and both those codexes are up to date, and both of them are up there for channel members, using all the up-to-date rules, and remember their narrative campaigns. So there isn't necessarily, like the Death of Hope, there isn't necessarily a winner. We're telling you a story set in an environment with stuff and things. But yeah, I think they were both banging. Why do people from the UK hate travelling in the UK so much? Big D, I can tell that you're not in the UK. If you were here, the island is tiny. The road system has got traffic cones there are billions of traffic cones. They're like minions. They grow up by the side of the road. They multiply like rabbits. You drive down a road one day, there's 10 traffic cones. You drive down the road the next day, there's 100 of them humping each other by the side of the road. There's traffic cones everywhere through our entire congested road system and not a worker in sight. That's the UK. Getting from A to B is impossible. You could take a train if you want to, but they're always on strike, and when they do arrive, they're always late. So yeah, basically in Swindon, you've got a radius of about 10 meters from your house. Beyond that, it's torture, ruin, hardship. It is like the Book of Eli out there. Have you ever been to Swindon? Well, no, obviously don't ever come to Swindon. You'll probably get snapped. So yeah, it's shit. In America though, you've got roads, your whole country, you've got the blocks things. If you're in America, blocks, and Canada, your whole, the whole new world was built with cars in mind. The old world, there's some streets that you can't get your car down. Silver Cage, not Bell Tolls. Silver Cage was like the first Indiana Jones movie for me. Banger. Did enjoy Saga with Mikey P and Sunstrike, Salt and Sunstrike. I like Sunstrike as well. The Sunstrike campaign was there. Not to mention there's always that one guy on the road that learned how to drive from Grand Theft Auto. Exactly. And then there's some old geezer in a flap cap driving along half the speed limit. Hate those assholes. Maris Gage had to do a 7-hour drive from Scotland to Nottingham for Warhammer Fest, and it was insanity. I'd rather go through the warp without a Gellerfield. Exhibit A. I was on train the other day, and the train driver was 10 minutes late because he went to the wrong train. Just your average 40k paint. It takes 2 hours to travel 100 miles in the US. In 2 hours, you can just about get out of Staffordshire. Yeah. Exits aren't very abundant either. So if you miss it, you drive for miles until... Yeah, how many people, UK, hands up, how many people have been bombing down an A road, dual carriageway or a motorway, bombing along, and you miss your exit, probably because of all the cones multiplying by the side, and you miss it. And you got to go all the way down, and you got to go all the way thing, and then, yeah. How many... I mean, I've done that. I can't... The number of times I've missed my exit on an A road or on a motorway... Okay, it hasn't been hundreds. It might have only been 10, but it's been a few. I do remember one special occasion. This is why you should never go north, apart from the fact that it's always rains and it's full of northerners. I missed the junction on the M5, so I had to go up to the next one and turn around to come back to the junction that I wanted to. And then when I came off on the junction that I wanted to, it didn't even have a... Because I wanted to go that way, right? You're going up the M5, I want to go that way. Miss my junction, go all the way to the top, go all the way around, come all the way back, wanted to go that way. You think there's a roundabout there that take you that way, but no, there was a slip road that took me into this goddamn shitty-ass town like Liverpool or something. I forget what the fuck it was. And took me into this, and I had to go into the thing before I could turn around to go back to the motorway, then across the motorway. Oh, it was like 45 minutes out of my way just by missing one junction. Anyone? Hands up. Anyone? Bueller? Anyone? No one. Just me then. Pennsylvania has the same traffic cone problem in the spring to fall. See, that's when they breed. They go to sleep in the wintertime. So like Pennsylvania, the minions are breeding spring to fall over there. We're at the Scottish motorway is only 2 lanes. Son is crying. Yeah, but the roads in Scotland, that's one of the reasons why I want to get there. I think the only reason to get to Scotland would be to strap a car underneath a helicopter it, drop the car off on one of those Highland roads that you see them test drive on Top Gear all the time, and you've only got like 20 miles of road that way or that way, and then you're in hell, and then strap the helicopter back to the thing and drive. Yeah, that's probably... I've always figured that the cones are like NIDs, consuming the frustration of drivers. Maybe. Behave. North is always better. It isn't though, is it? It isn't. But Winters, isn't Element Games in the north? Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. Have you been to Element Games? Lovely place, lovely people, but it's in Manchester. Have you been there? Mind you, Swindon. Oh dear. Still better than the M25 though. Yeah, the only time you can go around the M25 is between 11 o'clock at night and 3 in the morning, right? Then you can actually move on it. Otherwise, it's the M25 car park. They love construction. Oh, we've got an American lander. We've got someone from the colonies. They love construction. Cody, here we go. In Michigan. Buy me the closed... He can't write, but let's... They love construction in Michigan, America. Buy me the closed all main east-west roads through the city for construction. I mean, it must not have been a coincidence. Then they stopped doing the construction, lol. Yeah, so closed it all down for construction and then stopped doing the construction. And you're in Michigan? Yeah, sounds like Swindon. Upstate New York exit only means 45 to an hour if you mess up. Does it? Better to drive off the highway and launch off the ramp than miss the exit. I know. How many times do you want to Grand Theft Auto it? It's like you're going down, you see the thing. It's like, yeah. The A9 up to Inverness is insanity in the summer. Oh, I can imagine. Because you get tourists up there, don't you? But like Cornwall, driving around Cornwall. I lived in Cornwall for a couple of years. In the summer, you couldn't leave your house. If you tried to leave your house, you just got mobbed by, and there's cars and people and things. You just couldn't go anywhere in the summertime. And the Cornwall being really, really poor, a bit like Scotland. Because it's only one of those places that people go to in the summer. And Swindon. Yorkshire is the gem of England. I didn't like the thought of the north until I moved to Yorkshire. The bakeries and the butchers are on point. Well done, Dickie. Well, Mr. A.P. Byrne moved to Yorkshire recently, and he's banging on about it as well. I refer the honourable gentleman to the answer I gave some moments ago. To get there, you've got to go through like the Midlands and Manchester and Liverpool and things like. Yeah, it just it makes my teeth itch just thinking about it. One person put their hands up. Just your average 40k painter. Thank you for not leaving me hanging there, bro. High five. Appreciate you. Gehenna, I think, was the best. Involved every faction and people all over the world. Yeah, Gehenna was spanking. Gehenna was hard work. But I loved doing it. Gehenna was awesome. And I loved tying that into the narrative campaigns that we did. And I loved tying it into the events that I did at the time as well. Body57, I'll be in the UK next week for the first time in about 20 years. Really? Okay. Good luck. Jerome, AP Byrne said basically exactly the same thing. It's like it's a script. Yeah. The Midlands are the bad land, Simba. You must never go there. I only go to Swindon when I come up to see you. Sir Plant. Hi, Sir Plant, in the chat. Yeah. We live in a nice part of Swindon. And you've seen it around here, and it's pretty bad. But it's the, you go to the town centre in Swindon, and it's a poster. It's a advertisement of how town centres die. It's that bad. And you'll probably get stabbed. Just try to avoid Birmingham. No one wants to go to Birmingham. That's why they put a motorway through it. Champions of Chaos was the best campaign. Hey, Midlands is the heartland. They do say Birmingham is the jewel of the Midlands, which goes to show that whatever they say is always wrong. And who are they anyway? Wolfbook Stylus. Oh, that Gehenna spreadsheet, Wolfbook Chronicles. Thank you for looking after the. Yeah, that was epic. I know some Yorkshire bakers that do sheep and pig balms. Sid. Bailey, Liverpool is a great city winters. I'll never find out because it's north. Why would you go there? And I've heard the way Scousers speak, like now then, now. It's 888. It's barely English, is it? I think if I went there, I probably wouldn't be able to understand or communicate with everyone. So if I wanted to, hey, could I have a cup of tea and some nice cheese and cucumber sandwiches, please? In Liverpool, they might not be able to understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. Do they speak English? I don't know. Mad Max series was inspired by the Midlands. I know. I believe that Mad Max Enter the Thunderdome was an autobiographical docu-series about someone trying to escape Scunthorpe, I think. Yeah, isn't Swindon just a business park? Yeah, well, the outside of Swindon, Heretic Dave, is just business parks. Because the thing with Swindon is attached like a limpet mine to the M4. And it's going to blow at any second. So it's the cheapest way to get to all the airports like Bristol or Heathrow without being in London or Bristol. Because if you go any further east, then you're in Oxford, which is expensive. And if you go any further west, you're in Bristol, which is expensive. So this is why Isambard, Kingdom Brunel put the trains here. It's because it was away from everything else. So he didn't have to pay the same prices of everything else. And then Swindon grew, and it's stuck there still like a limpet leeching off the side of the M4, it's a ghetto surrounded by business parks with one or two places where people can actually live, so long as you walk with a really big stick, a Rottweiler, a shotgun, and a scorcher in case of herpes. Name that movie. We do though, don't we? We speak Scouse. Liverpudlians can understand you easily. Just trying to understand them is difficult. I know. Exactly. Cheese and cucumber sandwich. What kind of atrocity is this? It's an English sandwich. Cheese and cucumber sandwich. Cup of tea. Milk first. England. It's lovely. I think they literally make their roads out of paper mache so that every year they can close all of them and repair them. Yeah, that's what happened. Used to work at Runcorn. I understand Runcorn is somewhere up north as well. That reminds a thing. There were some individuals may may as have been speaking French as far as I understood them. Is Runcorn Scotland or is it the north? I don't know where that is, but yeah. At uni I had a couple of mates who were Scottish, and when they got drunk and they went full Glaswegian on each other, chatting away, I had no clue. None of us had any clue. They were, it's like a different goddamn language. Full on drunk Glaswegian is, yeah. And I love accents, and I love trying to work. I love the differences and all the different flavors and all the different spices that come out of differences. And but even I can understand German, then I can better understand Glaswegian. It's just crazy. Old Crow, evening. If you can sing Gillow Submarine, you can communicate to a Liverpudlian. Banger. Gotcha. You don't like cucumber, Kirby? Okay. Well, a cucumber's like largely inoffensive. I mean, it's not really offensive, is it? A cucumber, anyone can eat a cucumber. Anyone can stuff a cucumber inside them. Anyone. England and cheese in it now. Winters. Will the lion forgive the fallen? No, you didn't forgive the fallen back. No, that's going to be... Milk first with tea has to be a crime. No. Milk first with tea is the correct and proper way to do it. Otherwise, the china cracks. When I come home, there is a period where I don't understand what anyone is saying. Oh, that's Scotland. Yeah, exactly. Cheese and tomato is tasty. Cheese and boiled egg is good. And cucumber is good too. I think that the giant pickle... Yeah, no giant pickle. Milk is never first in a mug of tea. We've done with milk first. You know it's milk first. When I moved to Cornwall for a year, I needed a translator. Cornwall's not that bad. They're just like really west. I saw Hot Fuzz the other day. Love the scene where they take the inbred officer with them so he can translate what the inbred farmer said. Yeah, that's fantastic. That reminds me like Clarkson's Farm season 1 and 2. The guy in that. So yeah, very West Country. Chipping Norton. Clarkson is like 12 miles up the road that way. Tea in a bag. Milk in a bag. Milk in a bag if you're Canadian. What's that all about? Cody Kruger. Is Swindon near Devon? It might as well be. Bristol, London, halfway between Swindon. I used to drive from the Midlands to Swindon to install CCTV. Yeah, we need a lot of it. In fact, I once brought a load of Horus Heresy books from the charity shop there and wondered if they were yours. No, I've never given away a Horus Heresy book. No milk and tea at all. See, that's just wrong. My wife has tea without milk, like lemon jasmine tea with a sprinkling of horseradish and some giraffe spit. Whatever, you know those teas, those flavored teas that you see on the shelf, they are not teas. I'm trying to explain to her the difference between tea and not tea. A tea is milk, 2 sugars, builder's brew. Not tea is anything that's not that. Swindon is about 1.5 to 2 hours from Devon. Yeah, it depends whereabouts you want to hit. Yeah, it's about 2 hours from Devon-ish. I mean, from where I am to Devon, Exeter. Me to Exeter is about 2 hours, I want to say. Driving very sensibly. And depending on the traffic. Depending on how many minion cones have spawned all over the place, it might be 8. Teabag, welcome to the 13th, tier 3. Thank you for becoming a member. You legend. Don't forget to click on the thing. When YouTube tells you the thing, click on the thing, join the Discord, jump in, the water's warm. My grandmother used to make tea sandwiches as a young boy, only got them on special occasions. They were amazing. Anything your grandma made, anything grandmas make, we all know. Grandma food is the most amazing food in the world ever. God bless grandmas. Devon, wasn't that the planet Horus was brought back? Yeah, Devon, exactly. That's the planet that Horus was brought back to live in. Cult of snakes. Yeah, the county of Devon is definitely full of cultists. Don't go there. Lots of inbreeding. I once got on a bus in Somerset. And I remember this couple getting on a bus, and I thought, oh, they're definitely brothers and sisters, because they were like in their 40s, and they had this, and they were really permed. They had a really unique hairstyle, which I remember him getting on the bus thinking that's an unfortunate hairstyle, and then I remember his sister getting on the bus thinking they must be related. That's a really unfortunate hairstyle, because that's what stood out. And the reason why I remember this is because then their son got on the bus with the same sort of weird permed tight thing. It looked like something It looked like a really tight natural perm. And I remember going, oh, you know you're in Somerset when? My missus got me some of that sort of tea. It was heretical. I know. The only thing to do is burn it, that tea. Or tip it in the harbour. I used to live near Swindon. I moved to Manchester for an improvement. Sven? No. Manchester? No, come on. I mean, is Manchester improvement on Swindon? I think it's like saying that chopped chip hobnobs are an no, I could do bad things. Is Manchester an improvement on Swindon? It's a bit like saying a punch in the face is better than a kick in the balls. Well, I guess it is. Okay, maybe it is a. Have a drink. I've run out. I'm going to have to tidy this because it ended up getting cotton mouth so late in the stream. My mum's from Devonshire. Dad's from somewhere in the north, so I managed to avoid that inbreeding. Banger. Milk first, scientifically proven not to turn the milk sour. Thank you, Sven. No, it's not. No, it's not. What are you talking about? No, it's not. No, it's not. No. What are we? I don't know what no, it's not's about. Chuck a handful of tea bags in a kettle on burner. When the bags dissolve, tea's ready. I'm in Stoke. I can't say a thing. Pretty sure that milk doesn't turn sour in tea either way. I had a whiskey flavoured tea earlier. I felt my hair going red. Oh, whiskey flavoured tea. Manchester is not better than Swindon. Someone else said. Oh dear. The way my grandma made was white bread, no crust, thin cucumber slices, and American cheese cut on the diagonal. Banger. Swindon is like an extension of Longleat. Some of the specimens I've seen there. I know, right? Yes, Stephen. You go to Swindon Town Centre at 3 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon, and you know you're swimming in the shallow end of the gene pool. Really? Oh, dear. It's like saying drowning is better than burning. Exactly. Okay, guys. I think at this point I am out of water. My mouth is getting all very... So I think I'm going to wrap it up. It's been... I've enjoyed jumping in and having a chat with all of you. Command Battle Win. You think you have it bad? Try Derby. No, I'm not going up there. It's north. Nowhere near there. Just have it. Just hope you never meet the crab people of Shetland. I want to go to Shetland. I mean, it must be pretty inbred, like the Isle of Man and the Isle of Wight. Yeah, they must be pretty. But I know, like halfway down the road, go to the Devisers. They're pretty. Okay, so yeah, it's been good. I've enjoyed myself this evening. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves too. Thank you for chatting with me. I've enjoyed chatting to you. We should do this more often. Yeah, we should definitely do this more often. Command Battle Win, I will see you on Saturday. And I think Simply Warhammer Andy was in here, and I will see him on Thursday. Thank you to everyone who's shown their love and support over the last couple of days. I've really appreciated it. I've really felt it. It's been humbling. I am excited and engaged, and I'm beginning to feel the fire, the passion, not that I ever lost it, but I'm beginning to feel it burn a little hotter. I'm beginning to feel the enthusiasm a bit. It's only been a few days, but I'm beginning to feel the wind in my sails a little bit, which is nice. It's nice. And I'm looking forward to 10th, and I'm looking forward to all the things that are coming up. I'm looking forward to playing Boarding Actions. I'm looking forward to playing the Horus. I'm beginning to feel it, and I'm beginning to feel that blow, that breath from my community, from you, from everyone in the chat. Marius Gage, thank you for your donation. Dropping a late one in the chat. Boom. You're awesome winners. Thanks for the stream. Thank you. Yeah. I'm beginning to feel it. And so if you'd like to support me one last time, then you can become a channel member. At tier 2, it unlocks the Discord, and then at tier 3, it unlocks all the additional videos as well. But I at least encourage you to join at tier 2, because the community that was in Deployment Zone, or a chunk of them that have jumped across to join and help me and support me. It's just the core. You guys are epic, are legendary. So they're good people. They're all good people. Anyway, I'll get emotional if I don't. Shut the fuck up. So ping that like button. Thank you to Roma Monkey for being in there. Thank you to Jimmy, Heretic Dave, Jester Average 40k Pater, Mordin57, A Kirby. A Kirby, you've been around forever, man. What do you think of the new Dante model? I think it's a bit mid. Kirby, I remember you commenting in videos like 7 years ago. So you were OG. But yeah, I think it's a bit mid. They could have, Krug66, have I missed something? No DZTV? Yes. On my last live stream 2 days ago, go back and check it. I've left deploymentzone.tv. And all my content will be on YouTube and for YouTube members. And all my Discord interaction, all my community, everything is only going into YouTube now. So go and watch that other video and that'll tell you why. So yes, you have missed something. Anyway, thank you everyone for joining in this stream this evening. Happy wargaming. Press the right button. Press the right button. Look at that. I actually pressed the right button. I got it right first time. I'm going to go. I'm not going to do this again. I was just impressed that I actually managed to do the thing rather than press the other thing. So I'm going. Peace. Actually, that was a terrible way to... Why am I going peace? That's terrible. Okay, I promise... This is the last one. This is like the Marvel aftershock thing, okay? So we need to wrap this up professionally. Thank you for your... No. And that was a massive fart in the background. Did anyone hear that? Right, okay. Thank you for following me on... And Christian Stone upgraded to membership to Tier 3. Thank you for upgrading to Tier 3. No more encores. No more Swindon and Beyond. No more stuff. Thank you. But thank you, Christian. I appreciate you. Just say happy wargaming, says Heretic. Yes, Heretic. That's what I need to do. Happy wargaming.